觉得 Super Weekend 的名次其实并不重要，我只需要就是我们能稳扎，然后到决赛，然后在决赛再重拳出击。
Поэтому, надеюсь, наша строчка будет как можно более высокой. Благодаря тому, что мы просто будем хорошо играть и найдем tот самый поток.
650 civarı toplayacağımızı düşünüyorum.
He isn't brave enough to take the fight. He isn't brave enough to go for the knock. He resets. Ilin is back alive. Goes to top. Goes for the first diver. Is Ilin now Rolkers heading in further forward. He'll back up.
在经历了2天的淘汰赛之后，我们在队内就是进行了一些心态上的一些调整和一些转点和那种在转点上面复盘了很多，然后熟悉了各个队伍的跳点和转点位置。
其实我觉得 Super Weekend 的名次其实并不重要，我只需要就是我们能稳扎，然后到决赛，然后在决赛再重拳出击。
V getting into some gunfire right here. Oh, Udor pulling up the buggy.
Oh, next Ruda. Already down 2 men. That's not looking good. And how this wall falls down. Udor in the clothesline taking a lot of damage. He's not going to be able to withstand that one. He also falls down. Now next Ruda left with only one last man alive with Frozen. Is all the way in the middle of nowhere. He's running. He's on a run. He doesn't want to fight against Navi. It's understandable. He wants to play things a little safe.
That zone again, White moves up towards the north. This is nice game to lose when it comes to entering in his zone quickly. They quietly go for the punish to find Kitsune. That's the knocks that we were looking for in the edge of zone that they're going in for. But can they translate that into the kills?
That's what I'm looking for. And so far it seems like they won't be able to. Navi's already down and bleeding.
Первые 2 дня были не совсем удачные, но мы понимали, что нужно будет адаптироваться прямо по ходу турнира, потому что есть команды из американского региона, с которыми мы вообще не играли ни разу. И это просто будет планомерная работа, в ходе которой мы научимся играть в таких ситуациях, в таких играх с такими командами и будем вновь показывать лучший результат. Наша главная цель к финалам — это просто найти свою игру, чтобы показать всю свою мощь, весь наш потенциал уже непосредственно в этапе, который действительно многое значит, который будет гарантировать проход на чемпионат мира, финал чемпионата мира. Поэтому, надеюсь, наша строчка будет как можно более высокой, благодаря тому, что мы просто будем хорошо играть и найдем тот самый поток.
Knows Golden probably looking for this pickup, probably looking for this revive. I don't think it's going to be possible. Golden needs to make sure to be locked and loaded, ready to take this engagement. Silas is going to be pushing with the UMP. Go for that straight out of.
Turnuva başlamadan önce 600 puanı bulur muyuz diye tartışıyorduk aramızda arkadaşlarla. 650 civarı toplayacağımızı düşünüyorum. Merhabalar, ben SPG'den Silas. 10 maçın şu 2 gün üzerinde 10 maçın 7'sini falan win almayı düşünüyorduk ama sadece 4'ü nasip olabildi. Bazı maçlar zaten sattık. Bombaya falan filan olsun. Ya bunları çalıştık, tabii ki de bekliyorduk her şeyi. Yani hiç şaşırmadık. Normal hedeflerimize doğru ilerliyoruz.
Or at least they will have a little bit of chance to try and come up on top. But over here, a little bit of highlights from the past. This is how things really look like. Oh no!
Furious Gaming, I think the real winner here is going to watch.
Through the game, SNS Dugan machine was taken out. And look at this, Rise! They're just always on that aggressive foot, man. Sometimes you gotta hold your horses, Rise.
Nope.
Is now
Oh, he slips down. No!
Coming in, right, but it takes the zone. Oh no, he slips again. He's trying to survive. He's barely got some form of survival going on. Don't slip again, please. No, trigger. You feel it. It's like an action movie in Hollywood. Criticus map rules. It's got to change right now. They're getting lit up and monkey inside of that blue zone. It's not working out for.
ready for extract.
PUBG Mobile fans around the world, welcome to the 2021 PUBG Mobile Global Championship. To the top teams across all regions, we have a message for you. The Middle East. You have proven your worth. Now, make your formidable debut on the PMGC stage. South Korea, forget the past. This year, show the world you've ascended. Remind the world of South Korea's raw talent. Japan, you came so close last year. But what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. Bring it back better than ever. The Americans, you're the alpha dogs that dominated the West. Now, lead the pack on the world stage. Southeast Asia, you took down so many strong teams on your journey to the top. It's time for a comeback on the global stage. Europe, it's now or never. Push your limits and surprise us all. This is the moment to create your legacy. South Asia, you were the dark horse of 2020. Amaze those who would underestimate you again. China, you carry the crown of last year's PMGC. Now, with everyone's eyes on you once more, can you secure back-to-back victories? PMGC needs a champion. The world needs a champion. Who will stand victorious in the end? Who will be next to glory?
I saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration and the first steps. I am the 1+9.
Hello, PUBG Mobile fans. It's almost time to bring together the world's top teams for the PUBG Mobile Global Championship 2021. This year's PMGC has a total prize pool of $6 million for teams and players, and tons of great rewards for our fans as well. PMGC will consist of 2 stages, League and Grand Finals. The league phase will last from November 30th to December 24th. During the league phase, teams from the Americas and Europe will compete in the West League, while teams from Asia and the Middle East will compete in the East League. Each league, 20 teams will compete on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for 16 slots to compete on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in that week's Super Weekend. The total Super Weekend scores over the first 3 weeks will determine which 16 teams will compete in the PMGC League Finals during the final week. The top 9 teams from the East League Finals, the top 6 teams from the West League Finals, and a special invited team will advance to the PMGC Grand Finals. The PMGC Grand Finals, which will take place on January 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, will determine the PMGC 2021 Global Champions. Who will be the next to glory? Don't miss a single minute of exciting PMGC action.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to PUBG Mobile Global Championship 2021 West League. Today is the very last day of the last Super Weekend where we're going to see these teams duke it out to, of course, get in the top 16 to make it onto the finals. And, of course, after that, they're going to be fighting to try and get the top 6 to make it onto the grand finals of joining us with East. So it's a lot of stuff to go ahead and look forward to. With me today is Zute, 7 Worlds Gaming. I'm Span Cargo, and I think we just need to go ahead and get a little bit of a recap here. Zute, what has happened these last 2 days?
Well, these last few days, it's been at the start of the day each day. As the top teams popping off, the bottom teams really scrambling to get points. But just yesterday, we saw like a few games back-to-back where the bottom teams really managed to catch some points. I remember Baluk shot up in rankings, and then instantly the team right below them had a really good game, and then they surpassed them. Baluk then dropped back down into that 18th place spot. And so it's just been like a constant race back and forth, and a lot of the shifting is starting to occur now towards the bottom end.
Towards the bottom end. Okay, so we talked about Baluk Choptown a little bit. 7, is there anybody else that also kind of showed up and is moving around a lot towards there?
Definitely. I think Sute hinted at it. Eastern Stars, they had an amazing game yesterday too. They were able to kind of push themselves towards that above Baluk Chapter, as Sute was mentioning. They're kind of just back and forth right now, and this is what we love to see, especially coming into the last game. And then some of the other teams, I'm gonna have to call it out, even if it's the last day of the Super Weekend. I'm going to be looking at what Exit's going to be doing. I'm not going to be looking at them in regards to hopefully qualifying, because that's just not possible at this time. I am going to be looking at them to hopefully saving face, because so far they have had just an absolutely awful performance on this PMGC.
Oof. Okay, and just a reminder for everybody, if somehow you haven't seen the format up to this point, just a reminder, we're in this last Super Weekend. There's 5 matches today, and then again, the top 16 will move on to that league final. 6 matches per day for 3 days, starting on the 22nd of December, where they'll, of course, be able to fight for that $6 million total prize pool. Okay, so we talked about some of the lower-end teams here. We talked about Exet, Blue Chopton. I'd like to kind of point out Mad Bulls. Mad Bulls right now for this Super Weekend actually in 5th place overall just for this weekend, but they're currently sitting in that 16th place position. Zute, that really goes ahead and shows that even though they're really doing well for themselves, it's still really hard to be getting up past everybody else.
Oh, 100%. And from 16th to 15th place, you'll see later, there's a pretty big point gap, whereas 16th to 18th, the points are extremely close. So these 3 teams down here, it depends on what happens the next game, but we could easily see one team leapfrog past the other. And Eastern Stars, like Seven mentioned, they had a really good day yesterday, and they managed to keep some spacing from that 16th place spot. So they got a little bit of a cushion, but definitely not enough to warrant, you know, just doing whatever they want for the next 5 games.
Mm-hmm. And kind of on the flip side, I'd like to talk about these teams have been starting to go on ahead and step it up, especially in the last couple of matches that we were able to see yesterday. But before that, those teams towards the very top of the leaderboard still are performing really well. I mean, even for this week, the top 4 teams are our top 4 teams. So 7, it's kind of at that point where, you know, obviously they want to go on ahead and keep doing well and practice for these finals, but if they go on ahead and grab enough points, that really does go on ahead and make it harder for those towards that 16th place cutoff.
Oh, it definitely will. I mean, they're just taking so many points off the table. And one team that comes to mind is first place right now, Rice Esports. I mean, this has been a super weekend of a lifetime for them in comparison to what they've been able to do before. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I mean, currently with a day left, they have almost matched what they did on the previous super weekend, which is just so impressive. And something that a lot of teams are going to be keeping an eye out on is if this team, if Rice Esports makes it within the top 5 situation in any map, so far they have scored over 10 elims, even if they don't get the chicken dinner, if they are in a top 5 situation. So it's going to be interesting which teams decide to take on a fight with them. But let's talk about it a little bit more with Blue Chapter and Supermassive Blaze, because we've seen what Blue Chapter has been able to do. Supermassive Blaze, I mean, I don't know if they're trying to still decide if they're going to go for placement points, if they're going to go for elim points, but you can see the consistency that we've seen out of Blue Chapter, and I'm loving it. I've mentioned it in the past. I'm loving that they are kind of falling back to their superstar in a way, and they're giving him the tools to excel, and the team is working together so well to the point that even yesterday they were able to secure a chicken dinner with 11 elims. And then Sue, we have the other team, the opposite of that, right? Eastern Stars. I mean, this team has been able to step it up in a big way. They finished the day yesterday with the second place 8 elims, and the first place 15 elims.
Yeah, Eastern Stars popped off yesterday. That's a team that I was talking about that created a little bit of a cushion. So Eastern Stars is your 15th place team right there, and Mad Bulls is that 16th place spot. Remember, everyone, top 16 goes through. And one thing that we didn't mention, if you guys notice in the overall graphics, is Black Dragons. They are not playing today, and they have been dropping lower and lower. And now that I'm taking a look at the scores one more time, I have a strong feeling that they're going to drop out of the top 16 span.
I do think that is a high probability, because even in the last match, your Eastern Stars ended up jumping 2 places after the big match that Seven brought up, and Supermassive Blaze, they actually dropped down 3 spots, which is insane to think about. Now they're in that 18th place position, so clearly these guys today, to get into the top 16, really have to go on ahead and work their best, and one way to potentially go on ahead and do that is if they upgrade their stuff to a 1+. Of course, the official sponsor for this PMGC, it is with flagship performance and an immersive 120Hz display and hyper-touch technology made specifically for gamers. The 1+9 and 9 Pro are anybody's best shot to go on ahead and climb these leaderboards. And Zute, at this point, last 5 matches, we're going to be starting off on Erangel here. We did see a couple of different teams kind of step it up yesterday to achieve well on Erangel on both sides of the leaderboard, at the top and towards the bottom. At this point, like, what can you go on ahead and predict, or is that just difficult at this point?
Ooh, so today is going to be the most chaotic day. This is the day where teams will start targeting each other. Teams at the top, I mentioned it the other day, if they decide, hey, we don't really like this team because they run into us too much, or they just, slow down our rotation sometimes, they could easily just target them because the teams near the top, they're 100% qualified. The only thing they're fighting for is the glory of saying they got first place overall, but otherwise, they're free to do whatever they want, target whoever they want. And on the flip side, I think we'll see it more towards the last 2 games probably, but even the teams at the bottom might have to resort to targeting each other, and it's just going to get really crazy and messy today. That's my prediction. It's going to get messy.
Based off of the targeting, you can go on ahead and do that for a strategic standpoint. Seven, is there any teams towards the top do you think would specific target teams toward the bottom? I mean, in terms of maybe strategy, maybe teams play the same, maybe they want to go ahead and get rid of them?
You bet. Give me that question. Some teams came up to mind right away. First of all, we've seen it this whole super weekend. Fenerbahce pretty much just getting into fights every single time in Erangel with Exit. And I mean, it hurt Exit in a big way to the point that now they're just not going to be able to make it. Another teams that I'm going to be looking at closely, especially in Erangel, is going to be Alpha 7 and Buluk Chapter. Now, you might be wondering, well, Seven, that is a weird targeting. Well, to be honest, when they do play Erangel together, Alpha 7 tends to land George. Remember what happens there with Navi. And Blue Chapter tends to land towards Severny, and it usually messes up Alpha 7's rotation to the point that we have seen in this tournament, Blue Chapter actually win an engagement against Alpha 7. So I'm really intrigued to see if maybe Alpha 7 is going to be trying to hunt them down just so they can have so much more freedom towards the north. I mean, if you can get the whole north, on top of that Severny, you're going to have so much rotation power that they will definitely need, because you don't know how Navi's going to come out. Navi has had this whole super weekend to just sit back, relax, and strategize, and see how they're going to be reacting to how Alpha 7's been playing.
Oh wow, I didn't even consider that, I'm not gonna lie. So there is an opportunity for these things to get crazy, and Zute already said maybe more towards the later games, but is that kind of a good idea, or should we kind of expect maybe it to happen just immediately? I kind of don't know what to expect.
You know what, Seven made an extremely great point. Flashbacks to the day that we both picked Alpha 7, and that was the day that Seven was talking about. Baluk came in on that north side, they ran into each other, and Baluk did indeed take out Alpha 7. And if you notice, the past like 2 super weekends, Alpha 7, they're always on that northern side coming in late, and 100% 7 is correct. If there's a team landing Severny, if that team lingers around a little bit, doesn't rotate too far deep, that's the first team that Alpha 7 is going to run into. So your question, should they target early or later? For the top teams, if there is a team in mind that they really want to stop, they should start in the very first game. Just put the pressure on immediately. Don't let them get comfortable at all throughout the day, and just from the get-go, just like drop right on them or just pressure them out. That'll throw them off for the rest of the day. And for the teams towards the bottom though, I would say for them, you definitely want to take it a little bit slow. You got to play your own game, get your own points. And then you can, like, later on, based on how well you do the first 2-3 games, you can maybe be like, okay, we didn't do too well, we got to target this team to take them out early and then get our points.
Span, Sute, another team that I want you guys to keep in mind on it. This is something you mentioned yesterday, Sute. I'm going to be going now to Sanhok, all right? We're going to leave Erangel behind. We're going to move to Sanhok, because yesterday we saw an aggressiveness out of another team, and that is Knights. We saw Knights, and you remember you pointed out this perfectly, Sue, and I love that you did, because Knights is just so much more aggressive now, and they were sending a message to Ghost Gaming that usually tries to do that exit split and then just try to loot all that area. Knights said, no. This is not how it's going to go in finals. You're going to back up, or we're going to take on that early fight. And right now, Knights is the team with the most illims. If I'm Ghost Gaming and I'm watching what happened yesterday and what could possibly happen today in regards to people landing close to Knights, I'm going to start thinking of a plan C, of a plan E, of a plan D, because you do not want to be close to Knights right now, especially with the momentum they're carrying of everybody just stepping it up. I mean, we have seen Xenox being able to step it up too, and this team is just looking like absolute killers.
They really are. I mean, even yesterday, the first couple of games, it really was those top teams that kept going on ahead and switching it around. At this point, it kind of ended with Rise at the top, but Alpha 7, Unicorns of Love, S2G, and the Knights, all of those teams kept going on ahead and kind of jumping each other. Towards the end of the matches, it really did switch down to those teams more towards the bottom, but I wouldn't, coming into this, I feel like I kind of expect a little bit of both, right, Zute? I mean, it's kind of hard to go on ahead and see or predict what exactly is going to happen. Maybe we'll see both sides of the leaderboard really move a ton, but really it's towards that middle where we don't really see that much movement.
Yeah, the middle of the pack, they're just like happy to be here, right? The teams at the top, they're like, yo, we need first place, we need the spotlight. The teams near the bottom are like, yo, we need to get to the next stage. We need top 16, and then the teams in the middle of the pack, like you said, there's not much movement, because honestly, I feel like they're just like, we're just happy to be here. We're just happy to have a good spot to qualify into the next stage. But I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but the next stage, right, we mentioned it very slightly. The next stage, in order to go from the finals to the world finals, you need the top 6. And you mentioned 5 teams that have been doing really well, Span, that have been jumping around past each other, up and down. Well, the near goal, you know, coming next week, all of a sudden is no longer top 16, which is pretty easy. A lot of teams are really comfortable already. The next week, the goal is going to be top 6. And boy, do the top 5 right now look so dominant and strong. Like, I have no idea what these other teams that are sitting comfortable might be feeling. Maybe they're already they should be a little bit stressed out as far as like, yo, can we make top 6 against teams like this? But first, you know, top 16, that's the story for today. I just wanted to throw it out there. We keep talking top 16, but the grand scheme, top 6 is gonna be super difficult, and I can't wait to see what happens once we get to that stage.
Sue, I'm so glad. Sorry, Sven. I'm so glad he mentioned that because we have had some teams, right? We're currently in this stage where teams can afford to have a bad super weekend or maybe just a bad day, and that'll be completely fine. Going into the finals, as Sute just allure, it is going to be just the top 6. And some of the teams that are currently towards the middle of the pack that I'm going to be looking at closely is going to be Footballers. Is today going to be the day that Soul K Sunday comes out again? So far, this Super Weekend, in comparison to the previous Super Weekend, Footballers has been night and day in regards to performances. And this is the stuff that those teams cannot afford to do, especially in the finals. We're only going to have 3 days. Yeah, we're going to be playing an extra 3 games, pretty much total, because we're going to be playing 6 games a day. But you cannot afford to have those bad games. You cannot afford to have those bad rotations. And that's kind of why I was alluding back to Alpha 7, maybe going after Blue Chapter at some point in Erangel. It's going to be interesting. And today I'm going to be looking at a lot of consistency out of all these teams, especially the ones that are hunting down that top 6 in the finals.
I kind of wanted to expand off of that. You know, it's the top 16 obviously for today. It's whoever's going to grab that 16th spot. And then you're right, Zute, going into these these West finals, that's where it's really the 6th place spot that's going to be difficult to go on ahead and grab. So coming into today, you know, we talked about maybe teams targeting the lower teams to kind of control who's going to be coming with them. I'm kind of curious if maybe even those middle teams are going to actually target the top teams, maybe to kind of get used to it, maybe a little bit of practice to see if they can go on ahead and figure out a way to mess with them going into the finals. But we'll have to wait and see. First, we're going to go on ahead and get to the thing that we've been waiting for. Let's start talking predictions. Let's just start right off the gate. I'm just going to go first because I chose Fenerbahce. And the reason for that is something that you guys have heard multiple times, and that's because they still have not gotten a chicken dinner, and I need them to get one. They're a team that is around in that middle of the pack, you know, right now in that 7th place position. The 0 chickens, a little bit too much for me. They have to get at least one. How about you, Zoo?
And to just put what spans, you know, prediction and perspective, they're about to play a total of 45 games with 0 chickens. They got 5 games left today, and it's important because going into the finals, that 1 chicken's gonna help a lot. So I'm gonna keep an eye on them too. But as for me, my prediction is actually gonna go over to the Knights. The Knights have been doing really strong, really well, but they have not gotten a chicken. And I just got a feeling today is going to be the day they kind of make a statement, they pop off, and then going into the finals, they'll be looking really good and really strong.
Okay, another strong choice. 7, you as well. Who is going to win Erangel?
I was just hinting at it. I said today I want to look at consistency, so I'm going to pick a team that's been very consistent in Erangel. It's going to be Unicorns of Love. When you look at the stats this team has been able to put up this Super Weekend, 4 out of 6 matches in Erangel, they've been able to finish with the top 4, and some of them include 2nd places, and some of them include some nice ILM numbers that are definitely going to help you out in the finals. So Unicorns of Love, you're my pick. Hopefully I don't curse you, and I would love to continue to see that consistency that they've been showing in Erangel.
We actually brought that up the other day. They ended up getting, I think, a 3rd and like a 4th or something, both on Erangel, and we were just like, okay, and now up next is the win, and then somebody entirely different went on ahead and took it. So again, another great pick. I think all 3 of these guys got to go on ahead and get a win at some point today, and we'll just have to wait and see if this first one is it. So last kind of couple of comments here is at the very last day of last Super Weekend, there was like 3 hot drops that went on ahead and occurred. We already talked about how there's a potential for those shenanigans happening today. Keeping that in mind with just this first map on Erangel, we already kind of mentioned a couple of areas, especially in that George Flip to Saverna area. Is there anywhere else that we need to pay attention to?
I think it's gonna come down to the circles, right? I don't think, as far as immediate hot drops, we got Milta and Farm. That's the Fenerbahce and Exet rivalry that's been going on, and that actually heated up quite a bit yesterday. They started ending up just punching all the NOC players out to make a statement, and I think if the cameras kept on them long enough, they were gonna start dancing on their crates too. So, like 100%. That is going to be the very first fight that happens here. But I think everyone else has been just dropping in their own spot, unless, like we are predicting, maybe some of the top teams are going to start hunting off the get-go, and then we'll just see it happen. You know, like, I don't know what to really expect here, other than 100% Exet and Fenerbahce are fighting early on.
We're talking about that fight, and we're talking about our predictions. I got a question for you guys, and also for YouTube chat. Who do you guys got leaving first, being that 16th place team on this first Erangel? 2? go for it, quick.
I got
Exet.
Exet.
Okay.
Exet. Sorry.
Span?
Oof. I mean, I'm gonna stay out of this one because we're just gonna launch right into the game here. I'm just gonna dip out of that because we're gonna jump into Erangel and send it straight on over to Hot Jukes and Mustache Dave for the action.
What's going on? How are y'all doing today?
What is going on? Game number 1, Hot Jukes. Are you ready?
Bro, I'm board ready. Let's get it.
We are good to go. They're asking, I think the question on the desk was, who's going to get taken out first, Hot Jukes? Did I hear Exet, dude? Are we thinking Exet going to get punched out here once again?
Well, you know what? The desk was talking about it, and there was one thing in particular that I think that they kind of missed, right? It was this fact. They were talking about top teams, you know, doing whatever they want. Fact, right? Middle teams could even do what they want. Fact. What about Exet, though? What about
What
Exet?
about them? What about,
Right?
They need 27 points per game in
So check
order
it out.
to tie 16. So
I
what
understand
about
that.
them, Hot Jukes?
Exactly right. Exactly right? Is that they're at the point now where it's impossible, right? They literally need a chicken dinner every game and kills in order to even make it. So, Dave, the top teams, if they try to take some squads out on that 16th place slot, right? They're still going to go on to that next stage and possibly face these teams. So they could be a little bit hesitant, right? Being, you know, maybe we don't want to, like, you know, BM these kind of guys because you never know what's going to happen, right? But Exet has nothing to lose. Nothing. They could do whatever they want. They pretty much know at this point they're not going to make it, right? So if they want to BM a team and make sure they don't make it top 16, nobody has, like, nothing to lose like Exet.
I guess, you know, with that mindset, I guess they can kind of be a thorn in the side of Mad Bulls, Eastern Stars, and
anybody,
and maybe even Buluk, right? Buluk, SMB gonna be on the hunt today. Like, we're gonna be paying attention to these bottom teams for sure because these bottom teams are looking to qualify. And they also touched on it, and we kind of alluded to it yesterday. The Black Dragons not participating here this Super Weekend. You have to assume they are just watching on the sidelines, edge of their seat right here. They're sitting in 14th, 186 total points. Right behind them, Eastern Stars in 15th with 182, and then Mad Bulls with 165. So there's a little gap between 15th and 16th, but that's most likely going to be covered here today. So the Black Dragons, I don't know if they're going to qualify here to the finals, Hot Jukes.
No, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. They do not have that big enough a buffer. They would really, well, let's put it this way. If you are the Black Dragons or pretty much anybody watching that's a fan of them and you really want them to qualify, you are just staring at Mad Bulls at this point. Like, that's the squad that you are looking at, and you're looking at them very closely. You need the Mad Bulls to perform horrible here on this last day because Eastern Stars getting, you know, 5 points, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. You know, basically all they got to do is make sure that they get maybe, you know, 1 kill and, you know, 12th place every single game, and they'll be fine. But when it comes to Mad Bulls need, you know, a good little chunk of points, you know, 21 points.
But 5 games, that's not a lot.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot, Dave. But the thing is that also, we have been surprised before, right? In the past, we thought that a team was going to make it. Remember the Blue Bee story back in the day?
Oh,
You know?
the Blue Bees. I love the Blue Bees, too.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
We thought Blue...
that was my jam.
I said there's no chance that Airwolf Limax was going to pass them up. And they did, because Blue Bees couldn't put up like 20 points in an entire day. So it's possible. It is possible, absolutely. But and it's even more possible on the fact that, like I mentioned, Exet got nothing to lose. If Mad Bulls pissed them off, that's going to suck. Or any of the teams on top. If they don't want Mad Bulls to if they don't want Mad Bulls to qualify, it could totally happen here.
The thing is, I think you're forgetting here, Hot Jukes.
What's up?
Is the yin yang effect. Did you forget what yin yang did yesterday?
I did.
The Navy
I can't believe
SEAL.
it.
The dude swam around. I'm not going to mention the team because, you know, I'm not trying to put him on blast here today. Swam around, popped up, and took them all out. So if yin yang, I know we've been talking about that momentum here all season long. I got to assume after that play, yin yang is nothing but confidence.
Oh, look
feeling
at that.
great. And
We
the
even saw him.
momentum is riding high. So kind of a different story when we're talking the Bluebies from back in the day. So I don't know. I'm kind of rooting for the Mad Bulls here. I'm not going to lie. The Mad Bulls made a fan of me last night.
You know what? I can't believe that slipped my mind because I think I'm on board now 100%. Yeah, like after seeing that like ridiculous swim rotation to get those kills, I want to see Mad Bulls make it, but I want to see them make it by 1 point, Dave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see them just that play be the difference maker. To me, that would just be so sick. What a story.
And it happens all the time, right? That happens all the time. A team qualifying by only 1 point. And by the way, we did see the East League kind of wrap up here today, and I was kind of crunching the numbers looking at it. Nova just barely qualifying 16th. Now, they did sit out a Super Weekend. DRS also qualifying 15th. They also sat out a Super Weekend. So I was kind of going with those numbers and thinking, you know, X set wise, they only played in 1 Super Weekend, and you know, they're already at a big disadvantage. Like we talked about, they need at least 27 points per game to even tie 16th. So I think the simple fact of them coming into this weekend with only 1 Super Weekend being able to be played, yeah, you needed a huge day number 1 to really even catch up, right? And they just haven't been able to catch a foothold in the lobby with only 30 points altogether. So it is what it is. So, you know, today could be a good day, though, for XSET, like you said, to really dictate and control the narrative for some of these teams that are going to be really trying to qualify. So I'll keep tabs on that. You know, that'll be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting to keep an eye on for sure, because we could definitely see them have the possibility to just disrupt this entire lobby, or at least the teams trying to make it in for sure. And it's crazy. I mean, honestly, my mind's still a little bit trying to wrap my head around the fact that XSET's not going to qualify here. I think that this was a team that we saw dominate in the previous stage, and then now just coming, you know, the global championships, couldn't get it done. Hopefully we'll see more of this squad in the future. I think the roster definitely has a massive amount of potential. And who knows, maybe we even see some singular players make their way onto some other rosters coming up stages. That's totally possible as well.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Happens all the time. And, you know, one other thing that I'm really surprised with, Duca Machine might be able to get a nice little point over here, is Team Queso not playing in any Super Weekends. I would have never guessed that, right? Like, I would never guessed that.
How?
Yeah, how?
Right? Ugh. I mean, yeah, dude, it's such a trip. I mean, I know that I'm kind of like stressing on it and hanging on to it, but it's still just so shocking because we've just seen Team Kessel perform phenomenally before, and that's a team that's played at the highest stage. They've played at LANs, you know, pre-pandemic, so they've got more experience than a ton of squads out there, and to see them not even make it to 1 Super Weekend, I mean, let's put it this way, I'm hoping that they really go back to the drawing board, and I want to see how they bounce back after that.
Oh, well, I don't even think there's an option not to go back to the drawing board. So.
Oh, you're gonna have to. Big
yeah, you're gonna have to. Same thing with Exit here. So next zone does go up, A7, all the way up there, sitting high and pretty. We're really gonna be looking at the east side, the southeast side, as we start to see Exit. We see Eastern Stars, we see SMB, all kind of looking to take the same rotational pathway. Fenerbahce and Aton down there on that east bridge could be interesting if they decide to clash here. Maybe Aton backstabs Fenerbahce on their move away from farm. But besides that, things are definitely going to heat up here shortly. And honestly, we're going to talk about it all day, fellas, ladies. Eastern Stars, Mad Bulls, Baluk, SMB, like these are the teams that we are going to be paying attention to. And here's one of them right now.
And this is honestly the biggest one because they have the most points in order to be able to... They need the most points in order to be able to make it onto the next stage here. A little over 20 is what we need to see from Mad Bulls. And they are getting into a little bit of a scuffle here with Unicorns of Love on South George. I wonder, Dave, Unicorns of Love, are they hunting Mad Bulls here?
Kind of similar to Xset, but opposite, right? Another team that can do whatever they want to do. Oh, effect though. Jump shot, barrel with the 360 punch in the air right before that happened. Effect was taken down pretty low in the health department, but Monkey with that off angle should be able to possibly provide that support, make sure GK first doesn't get the better half of Effect.
See, here's the problem, right? A Mad Bulls, that was a huge 1v1 win from Effect. The thing is, though, Unicorns of Love, they have so many points that they can continue this fight 100% and just kill a couple players from Mad Bulls. And that in itself will be a big problem. So we'll see how the Mad Bulls are going to be able to respond. Lin there on that opposite end. Ooh, catches the angles. He is half an HP.
Yeah, I was really concerned with Lin's off angle. Definitely has those sight lines between that gap between the two buildings, and we saw Lin be able to get a couple nice shots over there, so they are going to be aware of the Mad Bulls, and I believe that's why we see Yin Yang trying to get onto that rooftop and trying to take out Lin.
Oh, this is good nade. Good nade. That looks on point. And it's money. Oh, Gory and gets finished. Tried to crawl across into safety, even though he was in that building, and just gets popped right out of it. Oh, what a nade there from Yin Yang from across the way to get that knock on that off angle. That's pretty big. But this is what I was talking about, though, Dave. I think in other stages of this tournament, we would have seen Unicorns of Love, you know, possibly press back, not really continue this fight. This is so early. They don't need to take this fight. But for some reason, you know, the fact that they've got so many points, I think they're just looking to take as many players of the Mad Bulls with them.
Yeah, the Mad Bulls definitely have the most to lose in this situation, of course. 16th right now. If they get taken out pretty early on, that'll be 0 placement points, not counting any type of kills. Rolkis popping that buggy, looking to rotate around possibly. But I'm really looking at Yin Yang on that rooftop to really play that anchor, that oversight. It looks like GK First knows the importance of Yin Yang's position, and now they're trying to take him out.
Ooh, that molly was a little bit close. He's going to go ahead and throw a smoke to kind of give him a little bit of support there. And they're continuing the pressure. Yin Yang is going to need some help here at some point. GK First even jumping up, making it tough on him. Oh, he ran straight back because that nade from Yin Yang was a little bit too close for comfort. This man is in the building. Mad Bulls need to press on him because he's completely separated. Oh, he does get one knock. Oh, almost gets the full squad wipe if he wasn't careful. But it looks like Mad Bulls are going to get the better of Unicorns of Love with the full squad wipe there. So that's 4 points already, Dave. That's huge for them.
4 points, but they did lose a Gory in the process. And the next zone, completely opposite of where they are right here. And another team that cannot afford to get taken out. Eastern Stars currently in 15th on the overall. Not a lot of points to work with. We saw right there losing 3 of their squad mates on the push, on the pull-up on the S2G. Here comes the Coops, though, circling their prey.
Ooh. Oh, it's pure chaos, dude. Everybody's just full sending it at this point. I love it. Here comes Xenox into CQC. Oh, the jump down doesn't end up working out for Cal. It's right there, but here comes Xenox again. Trying to find that off angle. Gets tapped right in the back. Trying to rotate over. It's out to Alucard. Goes down. 7 kills for S2G. Wow.
Yeah, it's because it's compound, right? Everybody, they see the next circle. This compound is right there on the coastline of the water. Yeah, we can see right there in the zone. Pretty center, all things considered, if you look at the bigger picture of the circle. But SMP, okay. I like this. SMP 18th overall. Talk about playing extra slow, extra safe right here. SMP, that position in the zone as well. And I do appreciate how they're trying to keep those buggies, those vehicles secure so that they can use them moving forward.
You know, I haven't even been talking about Supermassive Blaze too much. I mean, after that last day, they got knocked down 3 placements towards the end there. So they are not happy at all. They can definitely still make it here into top 16. And I love the fact that they are in such a centralized position and they are playing safe. They do definitely realize that we need to extend our gameplay all the way to the end. We need a top 3 finish here every game to make sure that we can make it on to that next stage. So huge. Kill switch. Shots onto Besiktas. Aren't going to be able to connect there. And oh, look at this. Exit. 3-man squad, Dave.
Really
sweaty
game for Eastern Stars. I'm looking at Eastern Stars. They're down to just a solo, right? They're in 15th. So another team that really can't afford to get taken out this early on. Now, they do have a spot over there in the water, but the next zone doesn't favor them. Making their way up those cliffs are going to be a challenge. So we'll keep tabs on them. Eastern Stars down to just 1. SMB down to just 3. So, okay, so the solo from Eastern Stars still in the zone. We can see them up there in the water. They're safe for the time being, but you got to be thinking, like, where do we head next? How do I survive? You have to assume that next circle will not favor the water.
He just needs placement points, but at the same time, I think Eastern Stars can't get too confident. They definitely need to realize that, guess what? Baluk Chatan and Supermassive Blaze are in this as well. If those 2 squads pop off, as well as the Mad Bulls, you know, Eastern Stars is gone for. Honestly, if Mad Bulls don't perform and Baluk Chatan and Supermassive Blaze pop off, they're done for as well. So Eastern Stars need to put up points. That's for a fact. They got to put up some good, decent points here to ensure that they can make it up. And honestly, Kabbalah up there in the water, he should be able to get some decent placement points, especially if that zone shifts a little bit further back on there and he gets another circle.
Yeah, placement points, the objective right now. Ooh, Nunez, Mythic. I believe we saw a little graphic.
Oh, that Molly.
The top damage dealer in the lobby. Most damage done. Mythic has just been putting on a show here this season for Rise. Hashtag Go Rise in the chat. Very impressed with that individual player here this season.
Yeah, and one thing too is I really think that Cap up there for Eastern Stars is going to be able to get a lot more placement points, considering the fact that this is that last super weekend, and we're starting to see it here, Dave. Right? Like this is Erangel. You know, at the start of this tournament, we would see 60 alive in circle number 5 late game. Now there's only 38 alive. So players and teams, they're practicing. They're getting ready for the finals. They're practicing that gun skill, and they're just full sending it on everybody. So Zute nailed it, right? Today is the day of chaos, and I think that's all we're seeing here, especially here at the start.
Yeah, definitely playing a lot more loose, right, compared to the previous days, for sure. Especially if you are one of these top teams, you're just trying to stay loose, warmed up, ready to go for those finals. And yeah, that's why we're like you mentioned, we're down to what, 36 more players?
It's crazy.
17 minutes in. And that's going to be pretty much the story all day long. So honestly, that could be a good thing, though, for these bottom teams who are really trying to play sweaty here, really trying to get those placement points.
Yeah, you'll be able to get those placement points, but getting those kills is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And not to mention, it's going to be good from that sense, but also bad because now you could be on the receiving end on getting full sent constantly, you know? And you're getting full sent on by teams that are no pressure and that are just having fun at this point. So that is not a position that you want to get yourself put in. I think Mad Bulls felt a little bit from Unicorns of Love. Luckily, they were able to get the better of it on them. So they got 4 kills on that. But look what happened to Eastern Stars, right? Eastern Stars down to just 1.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're seeing like 2 completely different strategies, right? Those bottom teams, they're playing slow, they're playing edge. We have SMB inside. Underground. I mean, talk about playing safe. That's as safe as it gets. And then the teams at the top, they see something move, they push it. They see something move, they try to get those elim points. So kind of 2 completely opposite play styles here. And I think that's going to be all day long.
Next circle goes on up, and it does favor a little bit of that west side, best side. Supermassive Blaze is on the south side of that, on the bottom of it. You can see it right there on the right-hand side, everybody. And they're sitting very pretty. So this is a good game for SMB so far. But there's that factor, right? That full send factor. You could have a team just roll up on there and just YOLO send on you. So Supermassive Blaze has to really make use of this circle gift.
Supermassive Blaze, nice zone. Same thing with Baluk up there in the north, right? They don't really have to move. They could just keep scouting and making sure to keep tabs, that intel flowing on the team.
playing that slow game here. As down in the south, I feel like Mad Bulls with the biggest challenge because they're gonna have to push into Furious, X-Ria, maybe even Rise or Footballers. So they're definitely one of the teams with the biggest challenges when we're looking at those bottom teams trying to qualify.
Dude, Rise Esports has just been performing so well. Alpha 7 go down here with only 2 members. And at the same time, everybody, it's a little bit tough for me to be critical of these top teams. Because honestly, if I was in their shoes and if I was sitting here, I would just be having fun at this point. I'm not trying to give away any of my strategies for the finals. I don't want any of these players to be researching my squad. So with the way that this is currently set up, I'm just full sending everything. So how these top teams do, when I'm watching them, I'm just seeing some guys have fun right now. This is a celebration. This is that last lap. You know what I'm saying? That victory lap.
You made a great analogy yesterday saying the smoke screen, right? And I think that is exactly what's happening with all these top teams. Just try something new, try something completely different so that your opponents cannot look back at these last days and really be able to pin down your play style.
Yep.
So I really do like that analogy you made. But Big Milo, great
Nice
grenade
name.
onto Garrix.
That was a really big one there. So Furious Gaming going to be pressing on this really quickly.
Ooh,
Big Milo
Baluka pushing
headed up.
there in the corner,
That's a big
screen.
one.
That's a big fight.
Yes, it is indeed. Biluk chopped on. That's a fight that we really need to keep an eye on. And it's between
S2G.
the S2G as well, the top team in the lobby. I'm looking at the kill feed now. Not sure exactly how many players are still up or still watching Rise here. But Baluk chopped on, that's the story. That's the team that we need to keep a close eye on. So that's the one I'm focusing on here. You can see him on the bottom right.
Yeah, Baluk coming into this game 17th overall, 161, about 4 points behind Mad Bulls in that 16th spot. Mad Bulls still alive. Mad Bulls down in the south might actually get into a fight themselves. So both these teams fighting at the same exact time. 10 teams to go. Looks like Baluk are actually coming out on top of that compound push over there, huh, Jukes?
Oh, looks like they are going to end up on top of that one. I'm still keeping an eye on the kill feed, trying to see it there at the bottom right. And it's only one remaining member up left. Yeah, for S2G. He's going to have to pull off something crazy. But honestly, Dave, S2G got nothing to lose, but you know they'd be going for that highlights. So let's see what he can do here by himself.
Oh.
That nade, though, was way too strong. He ends up going down. So Baluk chopped on are still alive. Supermassive Blaze are still alive as well. So, oh,
and Mad
man.
Bulls.
Yeah, and Mad Bulls. Oh, my goodness. And Mad Bulls. So, oh, Black Dragons. You can't be feeling too good right now.
Yeah, true. It's Black Dragons, I'm telling you. Today's going to be one of those days, man. All three of these teams that you do not want to be surviving late game are still... all four Eastern Stars. Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay, they're dead. 8th place, but still, you know, Black Dragons, you got to feel for them.
Let's put it this way. If I was the owner of the Black Dragons, I would be sending very large rubber gloves to my squad right now, because I don't need them biting all of their nails off, you know, just in case they do make it, Dave, because that's literally all they could do at this point.
Oh, this is an interesting push coming out from Baluk, really testing the limits out here. Yin Yang and the spokes here. Yin Yang, the last one alive for the Mad Bulls. Ooh, oh, the third party though from Asta. But Yin Yang eventually spotted, tagged, and bagged. 6th place, 4 placement points, not counting kills. So
there go Mad Bulls.
Not too bad, not too bad. Game 1.
That's enough. That's a good little start. Good little start. You know, they definitely need more though. Supermassive Blaze, they need a lot. So Baluk chopped on in the same position as well. So we'll see if they're going to be able to hold strong here. SMB have got gifted another circle. But you know, Dave, we saw it from the past, right? I talked about it before. When teams get gifted a circle, you have to utilize it to your best potential. I think SMB with so much pressure, rather than playing it super aggressive, they're just going for placement, Dave. I don't know. What do you think about this one?
Well, that's a great point. Remember, yesterday we saw Eastern Stars. Remember that military base? They had the zone, the only team in the zone, but they did not play passive, right? They made sure to spread out. They made sure to get some elim points, and they ended up with a ton of elim points. So I definitely agree with you. But then on the flip end of that coin, if I'm thinking SMB, 18th, 158, when we're looking at those points on the overall, I think if they can get a solid 3rd, 2nd place here, 12 placement points, that could alleviate some of the pressure in the final 4 maps. So I definitely understand why they are playing so slow, so passive down there in that tunnel. But they're going to have to pop up here soon. They're going to have to pop up here soon.
This is the hardest part about competitive PUBG Mobile. There's so many, I know all you guys in the chat, there's a lot of armchair IGLs out there. But I'll tell you what, making these decisions hard live is some of the toughest things you could do. But now they finally step on out and they get 2 points. So here we go. I think they have to finally start turning it on here because Dave, even Zute said it. The chaos is gonna really crank up in the last few matches. So honestly, if I was Supermassive Blaze and I get gifted a zone like this, you want to really pop off and maximize it to the best potential because you don't know what's going to happen in the last 2 games, and they're already in a top 2 situation.
Yeah, look who's in
with
top 2.
Baluk chopped on. What a nade!
Look who's in top 2 right here. Fernand. Nice grenade. Going to be tossing that second one, trying to get it behind the little buggy carport over here. Looks like the revive is going to be coming up.
MG3!
Fernand, the MG3!
Got him!
Baluk! That is exactly what they needed. Game number 1. Baluk came into this match 17th place on the overall. Dude, a chicken dinner kills. That is the start that you want to see from these teams that are really grinding to make it that top 16. Wow. SMB 2, second place. 12 place in points, not counting kills. This is the start they wanted.
This is the start they wanted. This is the start I wanted as well, because now we really get to see, you know, I know it's going to be a close race. Like, I know towards the end, it's going to come down to the wire. And I have no idea who is going to make it in at this point. Dave, I got a question, though.
This makes me so happy. I'm not going to lie. This makes me, to see these teams trying to qualify here today, to come out on top. Mad Bull's pretty consistent. They got a couple elim points, solid placement points. This is what I want to see, Hot Jukes. What's your question? My bad, man, but I'm just pumped
that's all right. Go ahead. No, I mean, it's too hype. It's too hype because
this is
we
good.
come down to this, and we've seen this so many times, Dave, and we know how close to the wire it's going to come down to. So I'm excited for that. But my question is this, right? And it's kind of a tough one. I'm going to ask Stats Dave here. So bring out Stats Dave for me, right? How many points is going to be the cutoff, right? What is 16th place? How many points are they going to need at the end of the day?
Well, if I recall, East had like 217. That was East League. They had 217. I think a couple of the top teams here in our lobby have a little more chicken dinners. I mean, S2G have 7 chicken dinners. I don't think a team in the East had that many. So I think around 200 though. Around the 200. Pretty confident. All I can say though, Hot Jukes, is Black Dragons aren't qualifying. You know, I don't want to put that out there, but with the fact that Mad Bulls, Balloon, and SMB finished where they did, even Eastern Stars, they got 4 placement points. Black Dragons, see you later. I don't think you're making it, man. And I'm sorry. You guys did a great job this season, but I don't see it happening.
Oh my goodness, Black Dragons. I think it's going to be... I think that's going to be pretty much it for them as well. I mean, I'm just trying to do the mental math in my head. And at that point, Dave, I think you just got to throw the rubber gloves down, you know? and turn the
no, you got to keep them on. What are you talking about? You got to keep them on, dude. You don't want them to bite off their nails now.
But I mean, we'll see towards the end when we get to the desk how many points they're going to need. Yeah, but a wild guess, it's not looking good. I mean, you really needed both of these squads to fail big time, and instead they get chicken dinner and second place. Baluk Chatan with a big finish there towards the end. Now, the only thing that when I saw that end game, Dave, I'm starting to get a little turn in my stomach, because Supermassive Blaze, I think they could have won this match. You know, I think that they could have won it, and if they do not for some reason qualify,
I think for Supermassive Blaze, just keep up with that consistency, with that mindset of let's get placement points, let's survive, and then late game we pop up from our hiding spots and we try to get that chicken dinner. I think that is the strat here, honestly. And compared to Baluk, they're taking some solid fights this game and winning those fights too. So very impressed with this team. But let's head over to Desk and see what they have to say about game number 1.
Yeah, after that performance, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Baluk Chaptan end up jumping really high. And I actually believe, Seven, you were kind of the one that was talking about Baluk Chaptan before we even started all this, right? With their performances coming through from yesterday. They got another chicken dinner.
I'm a little bit biased, okay? I'm a little bit biased. Some players there are from Colombia. I'm from Colombia, so there's a little bit of bias there that I do want them to make it to the finals. But I mean, the performance that they just had, and this kind of, in a way, this ties into what I was talking about earlier with Alpha 7. If there was ever going to be a time to be able to go after a team, it was going to be Baluk Chaptan, because at the North, this is what can happen here. And if we get this circle in the finals, oh my goodness, it's gonna be even more mayhem than what we just saw. Supermassive Blaze, though, we heard the casters talking about it. Those placement points are huge for this team. And now Mad Bulls being able to get 4 elims, 4 placement points, being able to collect those 8 points. I mean, can we ask for a perfect start to this day here, Span? Yesterday we were talking about it the whole day, saying how some of these teams need to step up, how some of them weren't stepping up, and today they come out guns blazing.
I'm already satisfied, honestly. I mean, that was an amazing first circle as well, and an amazing first game. I mean, we got to see a lot of these teams that needed to step up just in the first match. I mean, you can still see Football, SS2, GA7, Rise is still up here on this first page, which those teams obviously don't need to go ahead and grab these points, but still a good amount of teams that did go ahead and show up. I mean, I have a feeling Blue Chaptan, Supermassive Blaze, and Mad Bulls might just completely have kind of scattered their placements down there, which is what they need. They need to be moving around a lot down there, Zute.
This was the perfect start in terms of keeping things interesting. In the past 2 days, we always saw the top teams come out strong in the first game, and nothing would happen towards the bottom, but now a lot of things have happened towards the bottom. Another big one on the second page is Eastern Stars with only 1 point. Now, it's a very slow start for them, but they had a huge game ending yesterday, so allowing the teams below them to have a huge first game. Well, Eastern Stars, they don't shake up points in the terms of going up, but because they only got 1 point, it gets even more shaken up because the teams below them did better, and now everything's getting shuffled around down there, and overall, the points have actually gotten a lot closer within each other. Before the start of this game, I mentioned that there was like 3 teams that had pretty close points. Well, now I think we have maybe 5 teams around the bottom that are just even more close for that top 16th place position. And Furious Gaming here, Scream BC coming in with the MVP, 836 damage, 2 elims, 20% team contribution. So that means everybody on the team was pulling their weight there, Seven.
Definitely. I'm actually really shocked at that 20% team contribution. Usually when we talk about the MVPs, we see like somewhere up in the higher 30s, 40s, sometimes even 50s and 60s. But overall, Furious Gaming had an interesting game too. They ended up with 12 elims themselves, being able to secure 22 points. Not a bad first match here for this team, as we're starting to talk about some teams wanting to get into a good momentum wave going to the finals, and this team obviously is going to be making it there. Talking about momentum, I feel like we have to give some more credit once again to Baluk Chaptan. This is now the second chicken dinner that this team is able to get this super weekend, and not just any chicken dinner. I'm loving it the way they're doing. I'm loving that they're getting those elims as well, and you can see right there now Baluk Chaptan does jump to 14th place, pushing down Black Dragons. Black Dragons is looking very closely at Eastern Stars. Eastern Stars is only 3 points away, which, I mean, it's totally doable. And then we have some of the other teams, right? Mad Bulls, 173 points. And then Supermassive Blaze, 172 points. Going into this next match here, Sute, we know Mad Bulls can be very, very strong into Miramar. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they end up passing Black Dragons. Supermassive Blaze, not having to worry about Ghost Gaming, Sute. I'm expecting a very good game out of them going into Miramar.
I'm hoping for a good game out of Supermassive Blaze, because if they get a good game, they're currently basically on the lowest of the leaderboards in terms of potential qualifying for top 16. So if they get a good game, well, then they leapfrog back up a little bit, just like Baluk did in this very first game. So I want to see this. I want to see this action. I want to see this energy come up through the rest of the 4 games. I want all 4 games to be a constant musical chair shuffle towards the bottom, because that's going to be the most exciting. And maybe sprinkle a little bit, of the top dog action, get some highlight plays. You mentioned it. I'm looking for those Twitter clips. Maybe we'll see some crazy stuff from the top dogs. But today's going to be great, Seven. I just can't wait for the next 4 matches.
I agree with that.
Even Blue chopped on this last one, jumping up 3 spots. Black Dragons, of course, went down. So did Eastern Stars and Mad Bulls, even with the performance that they just had. So I do think that there's going to be a lot of musical chairs, a lot of points to go ahead and grab for these teams. Also, just a reminder for you guys watching, it's the first stage of the Treasure Box Hunt as well. It started already. It goes to December 21st, and you can enter in the Endgame Center the PMGC token to redeem and get this cool swag. All you have to do to get the token is watch live on YouTube, watch live in the in-game Esports Center, or through our social media events. Go ahead and do that now before it hits the 21st. But if you missed that, don't worry. The second stage of the Treasure Box Hunt will be starting next week on the 22nd, so stay tuned. There's a lot more surprises yet to come, and of course, grabbing those sweet, sweet pan skins. Have to keep going on ahead and calling them out. Well, that was our first match for today. Again, a really action-packed one, a really interesting zone. And that kind of leads me to the question for you guys to answer in chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, how spicy will the circles be today? I gotta say, I think that number is already pretty high just based off of that last one. Yeah, that's 10 coming in from Zute and 7. That's what we're hoping for, jumping on in to Miramar next, but we'll find out after this break.
But he misses the shots to make 7. I think they'll be counting themselves alive. It's triggered.
Oh, that's it. He did it. He got it. I'm telling you, heel strat, but fish sheet that.
2,000 years later.
Boxes outside the window and try to get those heals, but you don't need it. He's gonna emote on us, baby. Get play, set, get play, set, get play, baby. Let's go.
Clear right, what Nami, the rest. Oh no, oh it happened. Oh my days,
there
how could you? Maintain that high result because the rest of his team goes behind him.
I mean, yeah, exactly. We were also having to talk about how HTG, at least Dave was mentioning that how HTG wants to try new things, but I'm gonna hold on to one now because Navi, and look at this is complete humiliation.
Slice and dab, but he misses the shots to make 7. I think they'll be counting themselves alive. It's triggers in. He's a tanker, man. He's got the sound going on. He's got every move.
Yes, 2 kills, but this will make it big for Semnon if they can get the chicken dinner. Now we're seeing a lot more information here. Yes, speeding up. What? What? He got back in! He got back in! What? Semnon with chicken dinner! What?
Welcome back, everybody, to PMGC. We're about to be going into match 2 of today. Just a reminder that these are the last 5 games for these teams to go ahead and play to try and get into that top 16. So still a lot on the line. We're going to be going on over to our last Miramar of this super weekend. So Zute, just keeping that in mind. What are we expecting from this? There's definitely some teams that excel more on this map.
Yeah, so Miramar, well, we already said Miramar's kind of the wild card because it just it really depends on where that first circle appears. But we saw the most wild of wild games already on Erangel of all maps, right? Erangel's usually the most, plain vanilla map where it's like, nothing too crazy happens. But if that energy keeps up coming into this Miramar game, if we get those crazy circles, if we get these underperforming teams, at the bottom of our top 16, all keep starting to pop off like they did in the first game, well, I'm expecting probably maybe one of the best games that we'll witness on the Super Weekends.
Yeah, I mean, the wild card games, as Glitter called it the first time, I believe, that right when she said that, going into that Miramar match was absolutely insane. I can't even remember all the details that actually happened. I was just sitting there and being all like, wow, this is absolutely 100% chaotic. Now, Seven, do you have any thoughts going on into Miramar, though, to kind of expand off of what Zoo was saying?
I would love to see a crazy circle. I'm going back to that question that you asked before we went into break. It really got me thinking, man, we have gotten some crazy circles in Miramar, not just in PMGC, but in previous tournaments as well. So I would love to see another crazy circle, whether it's a water circle, whether it's an island circle, that can obviously happen. It would be interesting to see how these teams are going to be reacting. And I mean, going back to the other teams that we've been talking about in regards to consistency, when we talk about, I want to talk about Rise Esports. This is a team that has been super consistent, at least this super weekend in Miramar. A match, first place, 16 elims. I think they ended up with a 4th place finish too, with a lot of elims. So it's going to be interesting if they also decide to come out aggressive here today on Miramar.
I'm sorry, I was just so distracted by the utility used in that last graphic there. I think it was for an use 29 smokes. That's insane. Sorry, but so kind of continuing off of that, we're just gonna jump straight into predictions once again. Seven, based off of that, who's winning this?
Ooh, give me a second. Give me a second. It's between two teams. Sute, who you got right now?
I'm going with Baluk. All right, like I know they just won the last game, but like Mustache Dave and Jukes, they always talk about this momentum. I think today is going to be the most momentumous day of all, because this is the last day to get the qualifying spot. And I think this is a day where that momentum's really going to shine through, really going to carry through. So they got the chicken last game. They're looking really good. I'm rolling with a Baluk.
Okay,
Okay, now Seven.
Oh, no,
me?
wait,
okay.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, well, I'm choosing SMB, Supermassive Blaze, because in my opinion, they got 3rd last Miramar, excuse me, so they need the points, so I'm going to choose them. Now, Seven, now your time is up. Who are you choosing?
All right. This is a team that usually tends to be pretty good in Miramar, but this Super Weekend, we haven't really seen it. I'm going to go with Mad Bulls. I love what I saw out of them in that last one. I mean, hopefully the consistency for Miramar will start coming back into Mad Bulls. Last time I picked them, they actually won in Miramar, so I'm hoping that's the case in here today. Hopefully Mad Bulls will win, because if they do win, oh my goodness, the placement points and all the points there towards the bottom are going to be absolutely nuts.
Honestly, if Mad Bulls or Supermassive Blaze going ahead and take this win, it's going to be insane. Blue Chubton already ended up jumping them, but if Mad Bulls, Supermassive Blaze go on ahead and kind of retaliate, whew, that's going to be insane. Black Dragons, of course, going to keep on lowering. We'll have to keep in mind, though, as well, Eastern Stars in that list as well. So a lot to look forward to, see what's going to be happening on our wildcard map. And we're just going to jump straight into it once again to see what the action is on Miramar with Jukes and Dave.
Let's get it going, everybody. Here we go. Match number 2. Oh, so off the bat, gotta talk about it.
Talk about it.
Baluk Chatan winning it. Supermassive Blaze in 2nd place. Dave, after seeing the points, Black Dragons. Black Dragons.
You did good. You know, I got my hand on their shoulder and I said, you did good. You did
Worst.
good.
That's the worst thing to hear. You know, oh man, you know, just you gave it your best shot. You know,
Better luck next time, champ.
better luck next time. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. You know.
It's not you, it's me.
Oof.
Hey, on a positive note, it only took about 42 games. We finally converted Zute to the momentum meter squad. Now he believes. Hey, let's go, Zute. Respect out there. That momentum meter. Zute picking Baluk to come out on top here this game. 7 picking Mad Bulls, and Span picking SMB. So these are some spicy picks from the analyst desk. You like to see it. And we're focusing on the teams that matter here today. Make sure you drop that follow down below, subscribe, turn on those notifications. But we're talking about them teams that matter, Hot Jukes. And real quick, I got some interesting stats. Average points in Miramar. Talking about those teams that matter, it looks like Mad Bulls, they have the highest average on Miramar, sitting around 6.3 points per game. SMB right underneath them at 5.5. And yeah, Mad Bulls should come out on top here when we're talking, you know, which team's the best team for Miramar out of the bottom squads.
Oh, it's looking good. It's looking great for them. You know, honestly, if I'm Mad Bulls, I'm just kind of keeping an eye out for Unicorns of Love at this point. Because, you know, that first engagement was a little out of the ordinary, I think, on that front. So they definitely kind of move around. Honestly, if I am the Mad Bulls, it would be tough for me to even want to drop in the same location at this point. Like, I think you're going to want to mix it up. For them, though, I mean, they're in the middle of Minas Generales, dead center of this circle. So that is a really, really great start for them. They are very spread out. I would play it a little bit tighter because you want to start off these 2 games, just get it done. Get yourself so deep in the top 16 off the bat that you don't even got to worry about the last few games. Because I'm telling you, these last 3 coming up, Zute mentioned it, going to be chaos. Straight chaos. You cannot predict it. And Dave, we've been doing a whole bunch of casting when it comes to these tournaments, both at the bottom end and the top end. Once it gets towards the end, nothing is predictable. All rules go out the door.
You know, I know Zute started using the momentum meter. I would like to see Zute's chaos meter, honestly.
Well, let's put it this way.
Where's the chaos at, you know, as every single game progresses? And which way do you want to put it here, Hot Juice?
Let me put it this way. The first 2 games, right? Zute without the gold chain on his neck. Last 3, gold chain.
What about the last one? I think the last one, gold chain and gauges.
Yeah, gold chain, the gauges get put in, and the eyebrow slit gets cleaned up, dude.
The eyebrow, we saw the eyebrow slit during PMPL Americas, and we know it was popping. So
it's the same thing. It's the second all those items go on, it's like, you know,
it's a GG. It's a
GG. It's like eating Sakuna's finger, you know. If you're a Jujutsu Kaisen fan out there, it's the same thing. Same thing.
Shout out to Zute, by the way. Love the dude. Eyebrow slits. You know, you gotta respect it because I'm looking at the top E-limbs on Miramar. We got Mafioso 30. We got Senatexa 30. We got Coops 30. Mythic 30. Revo 27. So out of the top 5 E-limbs on Miramar alone this season, Alpha 7 have 3 of the players up there. Alpha 7, they love this map. Alpha 7 averaged 12.4 points per game on this map alone. The reason I'm bringing this up, Pachu, is I'm trying to tie it in together with these teams at the bottom. I'm looking at Buluk, Eastern Stars, Mad Bulls. When's Alpha 7 going to start being like, hey, who do we want to take out today? Because they could totally do that. They can 100% do that. You don't think so?
It ain't gonna happen.
You don't think so?
Dude, if I'm Alpha 7, dude, I'm sipping on pina coladas. I am just, I got my feet up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just big, chilling, ready to take the day off so I could start studying tomorrow, you know? Because the finals, that's where we're gonna see Alpha 7, like you mentioned, you know, start sitting forward in that gaming chair, getting really set up and poised to play properly. So, you know, that's what I was saying in the last game. It's kind of hard for me to look at these fights from the top teams hyper seriously because, heck, if I was in here, the smoke screen would go up. I would just be doing all kinds of crazy rotations just to make the teams be like, what? Like, I would be doing stuff that I would never do in the finals, to be honest.
4 corners. Everybody goes their separate direction and just big chills. So Buluk 14th. They have been just moving up these leaderboards here this weekend. But I was crunching the numbers. They are 17 points ahead of SMB in 18th. Now, with 4 more games to go, Buluk cannot take their foot off that gas. Yes, you are 14th. Yes, you are ahead of the Black Dragons. I think the Black Dragons are definitely going to slide down here today. The thing is, Buluk, they do not want to slide down and not qualify because we got Eastern Stars, Mad Bulls, and SMB right behind them. Eastern Stars in 16th as of right now. By the way, only 3 points behind the Black Dragons, so this might be that game. Mad Bulls 13 points behind the Black Dragons. So if Mad Bulls can have another solid game, that will set them up pretty fine here moving forward. And oh, Scream bus tipping over. But yeah, any opinion on Baluk? The reason I bring them up is because they're on the edge right now, very close to Fenerbahce, and maybe even Unicorns of Love out there might try something sneaky on them. So Baluk, opinions, Hot Chicks.
I think that they are doing great, to be honest. I mean, with how many points they have with 189, I think that they are set. If I were to choose...
Set?
Because right now we're really looking
Set?
at 4 squads, right?
But set?
Yeah.
17 points between them and 18th. That's not a lot in my book.
That's not a lot, but the thing is this. I'm looking at top 16, okay?
Okay.
Top 16, I think it's very safe to say Black Dragons are not going to make it, right? So since that is the case, right, at least in my opinion, that means out of these 4 squads that we're looking at, and that's Supermassive Blaze, Mad Bulls, Eastern Stars, and Baluk Chaptan, 2 of those squads are not going to make it. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 of the squads, one of those 4 is not going to make it because all of them should pass up Black Dragons, right? So 1 out of the 4 is not going to make it. And when I look at that 1 out of the 4, Dave, I think Baluk Chaptan's on top.
Okay.
They are on top on points now, but as far as just pure ability and performance base that I've seen, especially here at the start, I got to put them on the top of the list because Supermassive Blaze, they got 2nd place, but if we're being really honest, they got very, very blessed with that circle, and they didn't even get aggressive at all. Baluk Chaptan had to work, and they got the chicken dinner.
Yeah, Baluk definitely looking a little better when it comes to just final form, I guess you could say, working together as a unit. Remember, they crashed or they pushed that compound with S2G, who had a trio at the time, and they won it too. They won that compound. So they're definitely looking pretty good. Yin Yang! Oh, the bait! Is that a bait or what? Coops almost getting taken out. Yin Yang not able to land the final blow. Let's see what his teammates could do here.
Effect coming in just a little bit too late, and they're going to have to try and support him. This is a kind of a desperation play for Mad Bulls. You don't want to be one of the last on the bottom of those 4 teams. SMB is below you, but they're only below you by 1 point right now, and that we're going to see that go back and forth, ping pong like crazy. So we want to see them. Oh, Eastern Stars picking up a point. That's a big one. I mean, we're literally at the. I'm gonna literally freak out every point one of these teams gets because literally, Dave, I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna see a difference in just 1 point between 16th and 17th.
No, I totally agree. I'm looking at Coops, dude. Coops is just the dream slayer out there. Coops getting the confirm onto Effect.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes. Mad Bulls, man, how are they going to respond? Okay, so Coops was eventually taken out. Yin Yang was picked up once again, and we saw yesterday Yin Yang was making those plays, those clutch plays. Looks like Yin Yang trying to get that wrap around. Would you want to see the aggression from Mad Bulls, though?
I do.
You do?
I want to see it because towards the end gameplay, I'm really into like the psychology of these esports players because it has a big effect on how you perform here. And Mad Bulls, you have to be aggressive when you're supposed to be aggressive, you know? And there's certain times when you have so much pressure and you just think, oh, you know what? Let's just change it up. Let's just play passive so we can try to get this many points. And we've seen it go wrong for players time and time again. You got to continue to play the game that got you here in the first place, no matter what the situation is. And in this one, you have to take this fight if you're Mad Bulls. You have to take it.
So it looks like Effect was only knocked out, so they were able to pick up Effect. So all 4 Mad Bulls are still going to be alive. It looks like they retreated back into the safety of the compounds, but you got the Knights on the outskirts. Going to be looking right in, trying to get these grenades through your window. That is
I want to
very
continue to see that fight.
Yeah, that's a standoff if I've ever seen one. And I don't see anybody really third-partying that fight either for the time being. There's a nice buffer between their compound and everybody else's. So knowing the Knights and knowing the fact that where they are on the overall leaderboards, the Knights can really just take that fight and see what happens.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is that, like, in reality, I think that you could be neighbors because you're dead center, right? You know, taking that fight, you know, you could just kind of kick back and relax. But just knowing what some of these teams and players have on the line and where they're at on the leaderboards, you have to expect that they're going to press you a little bit harder. So you got to be able to make those plays and be able to play it safely. It does
so it looks like the Knights pulled off.
It does look like they did pull off. So that's a huge, huge break for Mad Bulls. And it looks like the Knights are possibly playing this like they would any other match. And that's really good to see from them.
Good to see from them, and also somewhat of a blessing for the Mad Bulls, I'm going to say, because the Knights, we know they know how to hit them shots here. So next zone did go up. Mad Bulls down in the south. SMB in the zone down there in the south. Looks like Luke trying to make their way on in. Going to be rolling in right behind Nexria, right behind Footballist. So Luke might catch some static here as they look to reposition into the zone. Eastern Stars, though, where are they here? Are they in any type of trouble?
Oh, they are.
Oh, they're up there as well. So they're near Baluk, near Nexria, and near Footballist. So we have two teams kind of all hovering around the same location. This location, to be exact.
And that's what we're going to keep an eye on, everybody, is these teams trying to fight for top 16. Xset. Yeah, Xset. Knights. Two North America teams from the same, cut from the same cloth. But the Knights just cut from that good side because they are up on top. Xset on the bottom. And you can see Kill Switch just trying to make some plays at this point.
Dude, cut from the good side. But relax, dude.
Well, it is what it is. Hey, numbers don't lie, Dave. The numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. Oh, hey, Enigma coming up in here. The M249. J7 on the outskirts with the M4. Kind of baying their teammates out here. Kill Switch really low up there on the second story. So it looks like Baluk actually going to be rotating a little further down south, avoiding Nexria, which is pretty good. So now we're going to have Baluk, SMB, Aton, and Mad Bulls all kind of playing the same section of the zone. Aton, I know we haven't really been talking about him. 13th, Hot Jukes. I think Aton just needs to look for consistency when we're talking placement points and maybe some kill points. But they could definitely still lose it here today as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we haven't been talking about them a lot because they do have that slight buffer. But, you know, the way we see Mad Bulls and, you know, SMB get the top finish, Kill Switch with a nice little double nade.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any first aids. He's just stuck, you know, just constantly popping off drinks. And now Xset looking to possibly turn this around on the Knights. They didn't like that cut from the cloth line because they're trying to bounce back here.
They did.
They did not like it. Kill Switch with a jump shot. Oh, the stain, Dave. The stain.
Spoke too soon. I assume Kill Switch didn't have any more heals, right? Because we didn't see him heal up before jumping down. But J7 Polo back up on their feet. It's a 2v1.
Oh my goodness. J7 getting him, and Besiktas is kind of helping out Xset here. Zessie with that suppressive fire onto Xenox is just making things that much more difficult for the Knights.
Next
so it
zone.
does look like Xset. Yeah, next zone. This is a big one. That's what I get down. Eastern Stars, yeah, sitting pretty. What do you think about this one, Dave?
What I think about this one, Baluk, Mad Bulls, Aton, SMB, all those teams down there in the south, they're going to have to make up their mind on where they want to push through this very difficult terrain. We got Junkyard down there in the south of this new circle. S2G currently holding that one down. I already see SMB in vehicles using one of these off-roads to try to reposition themselves. But yeah, Mad Bulls losing Monkey in the kill feed. Wow, these bottom teams, man, they did not get any luck with this new circle shift.
Oh, no luck indeed. And there goes Xenox down to that Molotov. So that shift, horrible for those particular teams. Eastern Stars, like I said, sitting very pretty. And Baluk chopped on, Supermassive Blaze, both have a little bit of ways to go. And they're going to look like they might get into an engagement with each other. Aton did get a member of the Mad Bulls out the vehicle. So now it's just two left for them.
Very challenging situation to be in for the Mad Bulls, right? 17th, they're sitting with 173 points. 10 points behind that 16th spot, Eastern Stars, who Eastern Stars did get the next circle. They have a huge buffer between them and everybody else. It looks like Yin Yang in effect from the Mad Bulls are in their individual vehicles. They are just going to be sending it, looking for any type of spot to just duck, dive, and turtle up and survive here, Hot Jukes.
Oh, yes, that's all they're trying to do. Supermassive Blaze going down to Fenerbahce. That's what I'm keeping an eye on, is that kill feed. Revo, you know, this guy's done enough this entire tournament. So at this point, you know, however it goes for Alpha 7, it is what it is. But he ain't done yet. I'm going to try to make these highlight reel plays, baby. How about a 2-piece? Huh? Who ordered it? Who ordered it?
I did. I'm hungry.
Well, how about the number 3, dude? How about the 4? Huh?
How about
Revo?
it? Oh, Revo.
Bounce down.
Revo.
Finding angles.
F4. Oh. Oh. Ah.
Goes down. So close. Just the 2-piece.
Close.
Just the 2-piece.
Just the 2-piece. I'll take that, though. I'll take that. Besiktas out here on the east side. Okay, looking fine. Aton. SMB. If SMB can catch a couple of these vehicles, that could be huge. But look at this. A 3-way standoff. Aton. Buluk. SMB. This is massive, Hot Jukes.
Massive fight here. This is what we've been waiting for, and we're gonna see Supermassive Blaze get a beautiful knock, and now they're starting to press it. I love to see it because this is a fight that you should press. You have all the angles in the world, and you need to secure this side of the circle. But Supermassive Blaze are taking their time, and they let Aton get a little bit of that reset, but those off angles proven to be so big. One of their players does go down, and finally, Savian able to get a little bit more pressure. Back and forth fight between both of these squads. Can go either way.
Asta in the smokes, cooking a grenade, tossing that grenade all whatever direction. SMB trying to make their way up this hill. Looks like they're going to attempt to get the reset, the revive. Here comes the blue zone right there on the edge. Asta Cardi, though, will they put a stop to the uphill battle of SMB?
And not to mention, the zone does go with this spot. So whoever wins this is going to be poised to really be in a good position. I love to see Savian go for that point. That's secure, but he said, I'm going to get them both, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go. Supermassive Blaze and Aton. I guarantee you that one had to hurt because you know that's a team right below you looking to pass you up that just got you out.
So Baloof, they were taking shots at that fight. They were third party in that fight, but instead they opted to rotate a little towards the north, reposition, get into the zone. It looks like they ran into a roadblock though. Hot Jukes, next Rhea putting a stop to him. Now they're down to just a solo. Oh, can he survive? Running in the middle here. Frozen though in the buggy, looking to probably seal the deal. And then SMP on the high ground. After that last fight, they were able to acquire a nice spot up there.
Oh, yes, indeed. With that particular zone shift, they're going to be in a pretty good spot. Supermassive Blaze are outside of the zone, and they're getting kept by next Ruya. So they're going to have to do that. Not to mention, there's only one little member of Baluk Chaptan, Fernand.
Found a shack.
In the shack. And that shack is out of the circle as well. It's not looking good for Baluk.
SMB though. Aton, yeah, you have a little bit of a point buffer, so Aton can't afford to get taken out in the fight. Not a big one, not a big one. But SMB, they needed that a lot more. SMB, they are 18th coming into this game, and talk about needing it. S2G Timber looking to cook a grenade!
Goodbye, Madballs!
No! The duo taking out 12th place here this game. That will get a 1 placement point, not counting any kills.
That is not enough. That's not enough. It's going to really come down to the last 3 for Mad Bulls. They're going to have to pull out something special. Supermassive Blaze go down. And to be honest with you, yeah, they won that fight, but that was only 4 kills. And going out at 11, that's 1 placement point. That's not enough for them either. So Mad Bulls and Supermassive Blaze not having the great Miramar game that they were hoping for. As far as teams that were still covering,
Baluk,
Eastern Stars. Yep. Eastern Stars have the best chance because Baluk, I think we'll see him go down in the next few seconds.
Yeah, they have a solo, but yeah, now I love how every single game, the table is definitely just 360, right? Now Eastern Stars are looking to really capitalize in this match to really get a nice amount of points to help keep them afloat here in that top 16 because Eastern Stars are in 16th as of right now.
Oh my
Looks like they got full up. Looks like they got the zone up there to the north. Will the next circle favor them? No, it will not. They will need to push across the terrain, and they're going to have to fight the Besiktas squad in order to do so.
That's all my eyes are on. I'm only looking at one player from Baluk Chaptan. Whatever's happening on the screen, if it ain't those teams, I don't even want to care about it because I want to look at how these guys do right here because it is so huge, so important for these teams to make it into that top 16. trying to keep their tournament hopes alive here. You know, and as so far, there's still that member of Baluk Chaptan that is up. I can't really see on the screen exactly where he is, but I'm sure he's just creeping and crawling, trying to get into that circle.
And Baluk only 1 elim point too, so they don't want to get taken out here. 9th place will get them 1 point.
That's not enough. If you are, yeah, not enough at all. So, looks like Bozzy got knocked from Eastern Stars. That's a big fight. Hopefully we can get eyes on that coming up here. Fernand still alive there in that corner. Look at him. There we go. We can see him.
Let's go.
Oh, and now we got eyes. There it is. Keeping an eye on him, creeping and crawling. Moving
Juke,
up
tell
into
me,
the
tell
circle.
me the pressure. You're solo, so much riding on the line.
Oh, he doesn't even want to take that point. It's a free point. Look at him. It's a free point, and he didn't even want to take it because he knew he didn't want to give away his position. And now he's got to go for these two. Yeah, 100%. Well played there from Fernand. The trigger discipline to wait to the last second to secure at least those 2 points was massive. So Baluk Chaptan does go down, but he does take at least 2 points with him. Not a particularly bad play. I love to see it.
Yeah, they got a total of 3 elim points, not counting placement points. So I like that they were able to wait and kind of bait out that player that was down there. Now all eyes on Eastern Stars up there towards the north. Top 5 situation. They have 4 up, but they do have the low ground with footballers overlooking them. And we continue to see in the kill feed, knock after knock onto the Eastern Stars. Footballers are definitely just playing spoiler to that team.
Oh, what a horrible finish for them. The Eastern Stars just getting punished, and they really do need to put those points up. It does look like they are going to still stay alive a little bit longer. S2G goes down. I would love to see that Eastern Stars, and they're up. Okay, Octavian on the other angle there. Still alive for them. Gonna be hugging the edge of that circle. And it looks like we're gonna see another snake play come out from one of these bottom teams.
Snake it to make it. Snake it to make it. And Rom from Footballist, totally just destroying the dreams right there for a Eastern Stars winner chicken dinner. But we're down to just 3 teams. So even if they get taken out right here, that's 10 placement points.
Huge.
Huge. Sun HP, Lasso alive. If they can catch Sun HP, if Octavian can take out Sun HP, a 2nd place will be 12 points.
This is big for Eastern Stars because they were up on top, pretty close being in a pretty good position there. So, Eastern Stars, if they're able to really get this one in the bag, that's going to be huge because they were in 16th place, Dave. They're in 16th place right now before the start of this match. And with this performance, especially seeing Mad Bulls,
2nd place,
SMB, go out early, we're going to see them push up big time. And 2nd place is what he's accomplished so far. Lutz, push it up hard. And they know exactly where he is. He sees him. He gets up and down. Going to get some suppressive fire from the rest of his teammates. And I think footballers are just going to wait. Yep. Lutz should just sit back, relax, wait for his teammates to come help him out. Yeah, Octavian realizes
any mollies? I don't know. Octavian, wasn't able to get the confirm though. Wasn't able to get the confirm. Either way, Eastern Stars coming into this match 16th place overall. They got at least 12 placement points. Great game for Eastern Stars, playing that one nice and slow. Unfortunate for them, they kind of got pinched up there towards the north from Footballist, who Footballist at the end of the day winning that game, winning that Miramar match. Aton, I believe I counted 4 elim points. SMB, 4 elim points. Mad Bulls, I think Mad Bulls only had 1 elim point. I forgot which placement they got taken out that game. But Mad Bulls, they came into this match 17th overall, Hot Jukes. Not the game they were looking for, especially after last game's performance.
Not at all. Not at all. If you're Eastern Stars, you are so stoked right there because that's a big one. And the problem, I'm going to keep on stressing it, is these last 3 games coming up. So unpredictable. We're already seeing a difference in play style, right? In the first match in Erangel, we see 60 players alive at the end of circle number 5. In the last game, we saw like 30. Half the lobby was already gone at that point. So that eliminates these bottom teams from getting kill points. Not to mention, the top teams are playing 10 times more aggressive. So you're having to just deal with all that chaos and navigate through it. Who's got the best binoculars, Dave. That's going to be the question, right? Who can spot them? Say, oh, that's where we're going to go, guys. Let's go right over there. It's clear. You know, let's get it done.
Hey, are you looking at me? Because I'm looking at you, Hot Cheeks.
Hey, let's go.
Snake it to make it. I think if you're one of these bottom teams and you lose 3, just find a bush, honestly. Find a Dave's top 10 bush and hide in that bad boy. Cross your fingers and hope that the zones favor you. Now, Black Dragons, man, we keep talking about them because every single game just sliding, slipping, sliding down the overall leaderboards. Now, I do believe since Mad Bulls and SMB didn't necessarily get the best placement points this game, Black Dragons should still be up there. But honestly, eyes have to be on those two teams. With 3 more games to go, they can definitely overtake them. But you made a great point. I think only one of these teams are going to qualify over the Black Dragons, right? So it's going to be back and forth, Hot Jukes. 3 more games, it might come down to 1 point, dude. It just might be the case.
Hey, you know what, Dave? You said that the cutoff was going to be around 200 points, right?
Yeah, that's
200 points?
That's what
I'm going to officially say it here live that I'm going to give you a point range, right? It's going to be between these 2 points. It's going to be between 187 points and 186 points. One of those 2.
Oh, not 200. Okay.
Nope.
So, okay, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it, Hot Jukes. All day, man. What a tournament, though. Hey, thanks for casting with me. I had a great time. We're going to have 3 other casters, Necro, Highland, Wolf, coming up next to close the league stage. But thanks, everybody, for watching. Of course, there's still 3 more games to go. But any final closing statements from you, Hot Jukes?
Man, I had an absolute blast, you know, just casting, seeing all these players. I think that this is by far the best we've ever seen the West. Literally, we're seeing these teams ascend their play level, and I can't wait to see the next stages coming up, and I can't wait to see who's going to make it.
Hey, shout out to everybody watching. 3 more games to go. SMB, Mad Bulls, Boo Luke, who is going to qualify? I can't wait to see. Let's head over to Death, see their thoughts on this last game. As me and Dukes, we're going to be with our binoculars just watching.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dave and Jukes, so much for casting those. We'll see you in the finals, of course. But once again, a good match coming through from football is taking that chicken dinner. Gotta say, though, Zute, Eastern Stars really close as well to going on ahead and grabbing that themselves.
Huge game for Eastern Stars right there. 12 rank points, very little elims. Hey, points are points, and when you're down there towards the bottom, you want every single point you can get. That last game was pretty crazy. The circle shifts, it just kept going to the north, and I feel like the next 3 games we got for the rest of the day, we're going to see some crazy circle shifts continue out through the whole entire day. Besiktas coming in right here. Sun HP with 6 elims, 711 damage. That's very good damage to elim conversion rate right there, and 47% team contribution. This is what, you know, Seven was saying earlier. Usually the MVP, right, has a higher percentage, and this one almost doing up to 50%, Seven.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned it too. The damage to Elim's conversion, I mean, that's some of the best that we have seen so far in this tournament. 711 to 6 Elims. Boy, do they all can also use that, right? This is all momentum that these teams can take into the finals. And going back to Eastern Stars, I mean, for them to be able to bounce back after that awful Erangel match that they had to start off today, this is good for them, kind of break up the energy or whatever might have happened there between them. But let's look at 15. Eastern Stars actually passes Blue Chapter now with 196 points. Blue Chapter 194. And I see why Hot Jukes was saying that marker of 186 points. I see you, Jukes. I see you. Now, another thing that I do kind of want to mention, and just a quick little rant here. Exit. I seen that you guys are changing players. Please. You guys are full of potential. You guys have shown us what you're able to do in North America. Don't go too crazy here, boys. This is just a tournament. It could have been just a bad tournament. Go back to the drawing table and keep on improving your skills, because you guys have definitely showed it. I mean, you're here for a reason too. But overall, I mean, I'm loving these matches. I'm loving this crazy circles, man.
I'm loving it too. Oh my goodness, all these guys with huge potential going into this next Erangel match, especially after our first one, kind of expecting once again a pretty insane circle. That's the best in my opinion, because then you really get to see all these teams' true potential, their macro play, even their micro play really shine. And also a reminder, you guys can go ahead and get something that shines yourself, some shiny loots from a treasure box. Of course, it already started, ends December 21st. All you have to do is get a token from watching live on YouTube in the in-game Esports Center or through our social media events to get the token and redeem it in that Esports Center. Get all this sweet skins. Also, the second stage will start next week on the 22nd, so please stay tuned. A lot more surprises are yet to come, as you guys can see there up on that screen, including some special rewards. So talking about special rewards though, oh my goodness, it's still a race to try and get to the top 16, and it's getting closer and closer. I don't know, we just saw Balut Chopton jump on ahead, and then even this last match, Eastern Stars jump on ahead. You still have a couple more matches left to go, 3 whole matches. Arguably, all of the teams towards the bottom could go ahead and get their next chicken dinner as well. Like, this is not over yet by far, ZT.
No, not at all. And I'm loving how there's at least one team at the very bottom that have a good game each game. The first game, we had like 3 teams, and that really, shook things up. And this second game, Miramar, a bit more hectic, but we did have, like we mentioned, Eastern Stars near the bottom having a good game. So if we keep this pattern continuing all the way up until the end, like, we can 100% say it's going to come down to the last match. For sure. No questions asked. But how many point difference is it going to come down to? Is it going to be that 1 point that Hotjukes predicted? I feel like there's a very good chance that we could come down to the very final elim, the very final point, the very final moment of the games, man.
It'll just come down to who is the strongest in these last few matches. But also, once again, a question for you guys. Put it in the chat. Which team looks the strongest going into PMGC League Finals? It could be one of these teams we've been talking about, or it could be some of those teams up towards the top. Whatever you guys think, make sure to put it in the chat right now. Let us know your thoughts. We're keeping track. We're taking a look. But also, we will be right back with our third match for PMGC West Super Weekend in just a moment. So we'll see you guys back here in a bit.
Dismantle like that, Na'Vi. Oh, that nade was quite close, but Matic still able to get there. Oh my god.
Some type of consistent points. Tron! 16, but Tron, talk about a team looking for...
Last man left, he has this little vehicle to work in as cover. So as soon as he gives his position away, that's when things will be done for him. He finds the knock, and he might just be able to clutch this. Now it's a one-on-one situation. If Milo is able to connect this nade, that's going to be absolutely huge. Nade's being traded from both these sides and gets the choice 7. He clutches it once, but Sheikta, they somehow pull it off.
Going fishing, and Rambo's still in the water. Somehow they still don't see him. He pops out, and he gets the finish. Goes back into the water. Are you kidding me? Look at this direction. That nade, though, does press him out. Football is maybe able to take him down, and he gets the kill! Picks up 2 kills!
Trying his best to hold on to the position, but yeah, as you mentioned, Besiktas definitely do have great positioning, and possibly even they can try and win this one. But Football is now, oh, this is not good. Revo easily able to take care of 2.
Still waiting as Nice desperately hold on. In 5th position, a solo also for A7. Revo, he'll find another knock.
Any team like that, I think the goal is to obviously qualify for the last Super Weekend and just get some type of consistent points. Tron! 16, but Tron, talk about a team looking for...
Oh no, Analysts, they're not going to be feeling good. Just watching just A7 getting dismantled like that, Na'Vi. Oh, that nade was quite close, but Matic still able to get there. Oh my god, what was that? That's a heroic entry from the side of Matic.
Like you mentioned, the blue zone going to be applying pressure. Alucard making that U-turn, popping out with the DP, but immediately taken down.
Immediately, Matic! Let's go, baby! Which punches out the full action with the quick snipe and finishes! Goes! Matic's insane! He's on fire!
PMGC West League, about to be going into our very third match. It's getting closer and closer to the end of the line, the end of the wire, whatever you want to call it. After this, there's only going to be 2 matches left, and that's where the shenanigans usually go on ahead and start. So we're getting closer to the action. But starting off in this next Erangel match, I mean, Zute, we saw Blue Chaptown grab this first match after all 3 of our predictions were actually taken out immediately. I feel like the kind of shows that even this next match could be entirely what we don't expect.
We're back to Erangel. Things should calm down, cool off a little bit, but it does. The circles though, the circles are not taking a chill pill. The circles are just going absolutely ballistic today for the first 2 matches, and I'm hoping it keeps up. I want to see how these teams, especially the ones that need to qualify, how they adapt to these hardships. Taking a look at the most damage, Besiktas coming in right there. Sun HP with 711, the team that got the chicken. Rom with 531, and Supermassive Blaze also popping up on there. So I think that's really good for Supermassive Blaze, because they really need any momentum they could get, any type of win they could get would be really good for them, because they're right now in that 18th place spot.
Oh man, at this point, you know, it's kind of Baluk Chaptan went on ahead and did something really well. Eastern Stars as well went on ahead and grabbed something well. At this point, there's 2 teams left that really need to go on ahead and show up at this point. Maybe they once again have to shine off their beautiful 1+9 or 9 Pro. You guys know the drill, because with flagship performance and an immersive 120Hz display and hypertouch technology made specifically for gamers, the 1+9 and 9 Pro are your best shot to climb the leaderboard. And I'm actually just going to roll that straight on into predictions. My prediction is specifically because Blue Chaptan, I already said it, both them Eastern Stars, they already did really well. Up next, there's 2 teams that are due to, and one of them, Supermassive Blaze. So that's who I'm going with. The other would, of course, be Mad Bulls. But Supermassive Blaze, once again, kind of doing really well in this last match as well. It's due for them to go ahead and get even higher. At least the top 3. I believe in them. How about you, Zoo?
I'm going to actually pick a team that is really good. And it's more so I'm picking this team based on that question that was asked earlier in the break, right? The question was, which team do you think is the strongest going into the finals? Something I want to touch on, Besiktas, that's my pick. Right now, they're not in the top 5 overall, but I think something that a lot of people might be forgetting, by the way, and this is more of a setup for going into the finals, it's that Besiktas missed a day, and they're still, or they didn't miss a day, they missed a week. They missed 15 games. And they're way up there in the overall standing. So I feel like Besiktas is that kind of that team that people need to pay attention more to, and kind of a little bit of an underdog with a lot of potential, especially heading into the finals.
You know, I wouldn't agree with you if they hadn't been so consistent since then. Both last Super Weekend and this one, they have been so consistent. So I agree, that is a team to keep an eye on. How about you, Seven, though? Who's winning this Erangel?
For me, before I even tell you, Sue, that's a great pick. I love what you said about Besiktas in regards to consistency. Yeah. They've also stepped it up in the aggressiveness, in the Ilms department, which is huge too, before you go to the finals. For me, team that's going to win this next game is going to be the Magical Beast, Unicorns of Love. I'm hoping. I'm hoping they win this one. They kind of disappointed me in that first Erangel. Maybe this is the bounce back right here.
Bounce back. You know, what ended up going wrong? What do they have to do differently? I mean, all 3 of our teams already said it. Ended up kind of being taken out in 16th, 15th, 14th. What kind of was the difference? Was it really that zone? Were we expecting something crazy like that again?
Oh, it was definitely
I think it was the zone. It was a zone. We haven't had a zone up in that Northwest, I think, at all. This whole entire Super Weekend, I don't think we've seen a zone up in that Northwest, so kind of threw things into a loop. But it got all the teams that needed the points. They all really did well, so that's interesting to know. Maybe the bottom teams thrive off the unpredictability, off the chaos. So let's see what happens this one. I'm hoping it continues, though.
I sure hope so as well. I mean, it's nice to see those different zones and see how teams are able to go on ahead and go about it. Nice to see the macro plays come into play because, I mean, those mark a strong team. But let's go ahead, jump into Erangel, see if it's going to happen again, this time with Highland Wolf and Necro.
We're hitting it up, the final leg of the Super Weekend here, Necro, and I'm ready for it because it's 3 games here in the PMGC West to decide who is taking out each other. Who's going through, of course, into that final stage next Wednesday? Who is not? And my eyes are completely drawn to these bottom teams. We've got to talk about it, Necro. We've got to talk about it.
Oh man, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18th place. Looking really close. I mean, we can't really count 16. Black Dragons aren't even playing, so Black Dragons are already out this. They're not going to make it in the top 16. On the other hand, I'm really eyeing out for Supermassive Blaze and Mad Bulls, and this is where everything is on the line. The final 3 games, and one of the third game is being played over here. That means after this game, there's only 2 games left, Jack.
Oh my days. We're talking about it, right? 3 games left. Look at your map. Look at where Unicorns of Love are going. They're going straight to Novo.
Oh my god.
We're talking about hot drops. It's happening. Unicorns of Love. They are looking to assassinate Eastern Stars out in the early game on this third match. And Eastern Stars have been performing so well recently in a majority of these last 4 games. This might be their calling because they have to win this match. They are not safe just yet. They need to eliminate Unicorns of Love here and now.
Yeah, exactly. They need a consistent performance, and now Unicorns of Love getting kind of jealous that Eastern Stars are able to make it in the top 16. So Unicorns of Love, definitely, it's hard to digest for them. But well, with that being said, 8th is already opening Freya, finding a kill, finding a huge opening on the Unicorns of Love, and that's not really a good sign. Because now they're left with only 3 men alive, and Unicorns of Love, they don't really have that good of equipment to work with.
And this is a big, important fight. It needs to end up so quickly, getting taken out, one of these teams, because look at the distance from that zone. First phase, we talked about the rarity of northwestern zones. Well, it's gone all the way back over there again. A second game in a row here in Erangel and Eastern Stars Unicorns of Love. They are dead opposite here in Erangel, 2,000 meters away from that first phase. And that's going to be such a trek to get back in here. And this fight, really going to hinder them both. Unicorns of Love,
yeah,
they are making this fight long, though. Look at the spread, and this is a problem. This is not going to be a quick fight. They are 2-2 split for Eastern Stars. Unicorns of Love, yes, they're down 1 member, but they are also taking the wide covers on the opposite end, closer towards the zone. So Eastern Stars, it's important now to actually take out that back line here. Roll kills, get rid of that kill, get rid of the information coming on Unicorns of Love, because they need to join up together and actually push out on the front line. It's Unicorns of Love who had the onus in this team fight, who had that pressure.
Oh yeah, they definitely do have that pressure. On the other hand, Unicorns of Love are looking pretty good, man. You know, all the way up on the top. They're on the 4th position. They're looking pretty good. Unicorns of Love don't really have a lot of things to worry about, but if you talk about worry, Nextria as well is one of those teams. They also need to worry about a couple of things, and they can't just keep falling down like that. 1 player being taken out the game. Rise, they're going to be looking pretty good. Mythic is still knocked out, but still, it shouldn't really be that big of a deal. They can always go for that res. There's no one really around them. Next, Ruya, as I mentioned, 1 man short. Things looking quite tough inside this game.
Yeah, real tough indeed right now. Of course, Lin still keeping it up, and they're doing the worst thing they could possibly do right now, and that is just to wait. Don't even fight. Just be the pressure against the Eastern Stars. But look at the position of the flag coming out here from DK first with Zone. I think they're looking to actually assassinate Apis. I think they might have now. They caught it. Yes, they have. But it's a 2v1 and Apis. There's no one next to support them. As we said, they're split. And look at the backside. They are able to find it. One from Kapahala is crucial onto Witsone. And GK first, a second. The beautiful shots with the help of Barzi outflank the flank. And Eastern Stars, they're going to demolish and punish 3 now. Unicorns of Love, and Lin is the only one remaining, but there's still more fighting happening.
Dude, on the other hand, there's another fight happening. A7 and Footballers. There's just so many targeting going on over here. A7 looking to take a dig on the Footballers, but on the other hand, Footballers as well. They're replying back in a style. And they're able to kind of trade things out over here. A7. Footballers, after winning that previous game, definitely they're looking quite confident inside this fight. On the other hand, A7. Revo has been taken out. Mafioso and Carrio are the only 2 players in the front. Carrio as well taken down quite low. A7, they just don't really have the HP to work with. Rom is down quite low. They just don't have any heals. And Rom still, though, he goes for that insane peek and he's able to find 2. That's a huge one. Now Senetex all the way on the top. He does have the high ground to work with. He's able to pepper down some bullets. He's able to rain down death and destruction. But still, Footballist now left with only that 1 last man alive. He's able to get back inside the compound. I'm pretty sure he's going to be going for the res.
He killed himself. He killed his teammate. What are you doing? Instead of Texo, he tried to go for the kill, of course, behind the rock, but instead he just takes that career anyways. That's feels bad, man, from Carrillo. But he's still going to find that one. Ryan was dead, and that's a nade on points in a Texer. He's soloing away the rest of footballers. Dreams and standing for 1v1. Lovers in, he takes it.
Oh my god.
Set a Texer, and the rest of A7 with the collapse onto the south side. Of course, this was where Black Dragons used to drop. Both of them tried to change it up. But A7, they came out in football as a big game that they're going to lose out on. They should be safe, of course, with their good results from the previous Super Weekends, but still not the way they wanted to go out early on. My still question is how the heck are Eastern Stars going to travel the entirety of Erangel to get into that zone? Because they're also wanting to head through that western bridge. It's open for now, but they need to go now, because you see all of these teams on the eastern line who are in the side of farm, all the way up to Yasna Poyar. They're all heading back same direction across, and they're all going to want to try use these flanks, like that coastal line, to avoid the fights on the mainland Erangel side. And that is exactly where Eastern Stars also want to collide with those teams. So it's about who gets over that bridge first. Are Eastern Stars en route now going to get there before the rest of these squads?
I feel like Eastern Stars do look pretty safe because Unicorns Love have made their distance from them. But on the other hand, now Fenerbahce getting charged on by Exet. Exet, pretty much, we do know they're not really going to be able to make it in the top 16, so now they're just trying to play for their spoil sport, and that's what they're exactly doing. They're just charging in. Able to get 1 kill on Fenerbahce. They do know where the second man is, right outside this little compound wall. Lobbing in a couple of nades, just hoping that maybe he's going to be finding one knock that would try and open up the fray, but still, Exet, they do have another man knocked out. On the other hand, Fenerbahce, they're just down to a 2-man squad. Nox trying his best to at least try and find one knock. But Exet, they're just looking really strong, and it seems like their intentions are clear. They just want to take down Fenerbahce no matter what. Rebellion in the close, taking quite a lot of damage. Polo, though, he's on aggressive footing. He's not going to stop. Takes the man down, and now Polo doesn't realize the final man of Fenerbahce right in the front, position being revealed. He doesn't really have anywhere to go. He's just going to be pinned behind this tree.
And this was a patience coming through from Polo. Nox Bombing tried to get a sneaky shot with the help from them. Polo almost went down, but in blue zone, it engulfs this dead body. There goes rest Fenerbahce. Revenge served hot on a silver platter for Exet in this third match. It's only going to be a couple pity points, unfortunately, as we said. They don't have the ability now to be able to qualify, but for teams like this, right, Supermassive Blaze also needing to find that qualification space, they have not been performing this third Super Weekend, and that's the big factor today. They need to be able to change it up under the highest pressure that they now face in these final 3 games, because the pressure so far at the Super Weekend, I think it's been getting to them. Supermassive Blaze, they were in a comfortable position coming in onto this Super Weekend. They were about in the middle of the table, but they have dropped significantly and are under threat, of course, being eliminated.
Now, this is what I really like about Bullock and Eastern Stars, right? They did realize it's just the final 2 days left, so they did decide to kind of step it up on the final 2 days, and Bullock as well having one of the most consistent performance next to Eastern Stars. They're able to at least get their mark in the top 16, right? Slowly and steadily, they're getting there. Game by game, they're getting there, and it's like they just seem unstoppable up till now. All they need to do is just snake it till you make it.
Yeah, it was actually those extra 50 points from those final 2 games yesterday coming through from Eastern Stars. We're the best out of what made Eastern Stars the ability now to be able to challenge that 16th position, because they've only gained 82 points coming in onto today on these games. Yes, they also had a big third placement in the last match. Next Roy will fall down, and that's going to be a casualty there to the hands of PK. This nice will confirm that. But to head back to my points of Eastern Stars, right, you're heading in a position now where Eastern Stars, they've got themselves with those extra 50 points, the chance, but we still need to continue being good. We still need to see potentially another 30 or so points coming through from Eastern Stars to be able to call them safe and to say that they qualified through by the end of the day. And that's something that is also being echoed by the likes of Blue Chabtan, another one of these teams, as we talked about, who have been finding so far 2 chicken dinners in the Super Weekend, both in Erangel so far, and then also doubling up in the consistency of kills and placement points they've been getting. The pressure, although it has been tough for some, and although some are slipping, we have seen that pressure be paying out in dividends when it comes to making these players stand up and recognize that they have to go now, whether it is their playstyle or not. Whatever works on the battlefield is all fair game.
Oh, we do know, man. The latter half of the board is looking really close. Teams that are right below 14th place, things are so close, man. And I'm pretty sure each and every single team wants to get that, at least that 16th place. Because we do know Black Dragons is out the equation now. And this game is so important for teams that are all the way in the bottom, right? That are on like 17th and 18th place. So they do want to make sure they're at least able to rack up a couple of placement points before they get taken out. So they just want to get that consistency factor inside the game. And if they're able to do so, maybe they're going to be getting on the top 16. But again, as you mentioned, just getting in top 16 isn't going to cut it because, again, your position can be compromised by some of their team. So you always need to have that consistency factor going in, and you need to make sure that you're able to rack up at least a decent amount of points in every single game.
You know what's sad about it, though, is when you count out all of the teams, right, in that below 16th position. Okay, so they're not there, 20th position. Except they're looking in 19th. Black Dragons are going to be 18th. When we look at the overall standings by the end of the day, ideally. And then now, who's going to be that 17th team? Who's going to be the one team in the rest of this lobby that's not going to make that finals next week? That's the sad truth about this final 3 games. So there's only going to be one more team that can't make it. And when you look at how volatile the standings have been, I think we're going to come down to the final match. Realistically, it's going to be down to a couple of these points, a couple of these teams to decipher who that answer will be. Because right now, as we said, it is so close in between the standings. And you are looking at the likes of Blue Chip Town, Mad Bulls, Eastern Stars, Supermassive Blaze, these 4 teams who are all in danger of falling out, and particularly now finding that risk of kills. Teams like Eastern Stars, these couple of extra points onto like Unicorns a lot, if they can surface and climb up, as we said, to that pressure of teams dropping onto them minute 1, that's the extra points that are going to bring them over the edge, and those other teams who have been sitting quiet.
Look at the circle now.
That's a tough zone.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're looking at it, that river coming straight down the middle. Yeah, I think Besiktas strike lucky because that river, right, is going to just separate so many of those teams, everyone, but those 14 teams. But Besiktas is on the south side. So Besiktas, if they can secure a good position now, are going to look so dicey to try fight across that riverside. I want to try to even control that river and try to control that wizard tower. That would be where, if I was Besiktas, to look for.
But what's going on over here? H2G is just trying to take a couple of shots. Making that quick rotation inside the zone. They do realize it's a do or die moment. You either try and get inside the zone as quick as possible, or if you get any more late than this, the circle just going to be filled with a lot of teams. So S2G just trying to book it inside the zone. Mad Bulls are just spotting so many teams trying to make it in there as well. They do realize the bridge is kind of like a little choke point over here. But still, as you mentioned, the circle's keeping that mysterious aura. You don't know if the next circle is going to be shifting up north or it's going down south. S2G able to take one man down from Nextria, and that's going to be sealing the deal on to Nextria on the 14th place. Not really the best of the positions you really want to go out in these games. But still, Nextria, they have a little bit of safety cushion on their back.
It was crucial, actually, for S2G, even though they lose out one member, they're able to actually take that position that we just talked about, that wizard tower side, the entrance across that main bridge at a Georgia pole and into the north side of it. That's where we're really looking at as the string. Now, Besiktas are taking out that house compound also just towards the eastern side of S2G. That's also going to be Besiktas still finding a great position inside of this zone. The problem is now, who's going to risk it on this crates? Because I actually think the crates aren't the best idea to go to. There's still actually that more western bridge. Keep in mind, the zone is still inside of where A7 are, that West Georgia Pole Bridge. There's a secondary location to get across to the northern side. And that's, I think, what teams are missing out on. I think that actually Eastern Stars are playing a great game where they realize that that is still a part of the zone, and he can still manipulate wherever the zone goes, north or south. A good position for themselves. The Supermassive Blaze, they did risk it, and they're going to lose a member. Kef should be revived, though. The crates will protect him.
The problem is, this is why I don't really like the crates, right? Yeah, even though you do have a lot of cover to work with, but you still are pretty anonymous of the enemy's position. You just don't know where the enemy is exactly positioned, right? Even though if you do know where the exact sound cues are coming from, you just don't really get that actual visual contact on them that easily. Supermassive Blaze were kind of handicapped, but now Keth back on the line. That should help Supermassive Blaze quite a lot. And as I was talking about why I don't really like this containers position is the chances of the circle shifting right on the containers are quite low. And if the circle does shift away in case, that means all the teams that are in the containers, they will have to move out in the open. And that's when the real trouble starts for all these teams.
It has shifted, though, that zone, into what could be those containers.
Yep.
It's still going to be 50-50 split, though, for the most part, but the northern side of George Pole, it is looking to head that way. So STG Besiktas is still looking strong. I think the Eastern Stars, a slight mistake. I understand why they're not going forward at Western Bridge, as you expect. Yes, rightly so. There is a member of Baluchat Tanraiz is going to defend that away, so they are going to go through for its main location, but it's much riskier, of course, to head through this main location, as you do see the teams like Mad taking shots onto Furious Gaming. Supermassive Blade is going to do the same, because it's now, can they stop these squads from entering up into the compound? Kapahala, Apis, they are going to drive in, but it's 2 on Astra, and it might just be 3 on Octavian. A big mistake coming through from Eastern Stars, who drive in so late, but way too aggressive, and he turns it back for the wrong moment. And Octavian falls too, and Eastern Stars punished solo 1v3 by Astra for it.
Oh, bullet penetrating through his back, and he falls down. Eastern Stars out the game in 12th position, and we do know this game was really important for them, but still they were able to rack up 3 points. But again, not really the best of the performance that we expected. Eastern Stars really needed a good performance inside this game to keep that consistency factor going, to keep that momentum going. But unfortunately, they fall down. As you mentioned, late rotation is probably the main issue over here that Eastern Stars had to pay the price for it. On the other hand, Knights able to get their eyes on the exit. One man falls down, Polo looking to take another man, but still it seems like Exit, they're just unstoppable. They're just booking it inside the zone. J7 being spotted. Bullets whizzing past him. It's going to be safe for now, though.
I just don't understand why teams are trying to go through the direct entry of the zone, because as we said, there was that flank side open. Phase 4 is going to hurt, but you had the time. If you were quicker at rotating, Eastern Stars, they could have easily done it. Exet should have done the same, I think, heading through that Western George Pole Bridge, or even potentially not on the bridge, but swimming, taking a slower route, but not going directly in through the South Crate Yard, because going in that direction, it is suicide for all of these teams' late rotations, and that was the reason why Eastern Stars fell. It's the same reason why Exet fall as well, because they are too eager. They don't see that there could be a potential second option to go for, and I think they've realized it now. You can see Killswitch Polo on that map. They are taking that more western river crossing. They are going to swim their way through, as Senetexa is doing. Fortunately, I think Senetexa should be engulfed by the zone. Raiz is going to be that flank side, but it was only one player defending that, and that was, of course, something it could have been pushed, I think, very easily by some of these full squads onto the solo.
Quite close, man. He's trying to find Senetexa. Finally gets a little glimpse. They take a couple of shots, and now still just trying to flush Senetexa out of that water. Senetexa, though, still safe, and he's also taking a little bit of damage from that zone. And finally, Ilion Kid puts the final nail in the coffin for A7. A7 taking out the game. Still, those are one of those teams that they don't really need to worry about these. But on the other hand, you have teams like Mad Bulls, Bullock Chaptan coming in. This is what is really important for them, including Anton. Anton as well able to survive with all four men alive inside this game. That's going to be helping them out quite a lot in the overall rankings. Mad Bulls doing pretty great up till now. If you talk about manpower, these teams do have it. Bullock Chaptan as well, the same thing. All these bottom teams, they do realize the pressure, and they're able to perform inside this pressure.
This zone, no Necro.
The zone.
Oh, it's so
it's
bad.
Disgusting.
It's so bad for these teams. STG, yes, you strike lucky. But where do you go? If you're a team on that south side, it's all about trying to get across there. I think for teams like Supermassive Blaze, Atom Mad Bulls, they all have to be patient. They have to wait on who's going to make that move first. It is going to be Aton who go directly for that crossing onto the river. There is an advantage if you can get across that riverside, then it is going to be great for you. You can then sneak away onto S2G, but you still S2G to contend with. But the Sheeters, they might just be an extra fall. Yes, they will. Baluch, I don't even see what happened. It dropped so fast. They just got dropped one by one.
Oh man, Bullock Chaptan now taking out the game. Furious Gaming right underneath the bridge. And Aton are right next to them. This might just be free kills gifted over to Furious Gaming if they're able to have a little bit of land cover for themselves. But no, it seems like Furious Gaming instead, they're taking a little bit of damage onto them. Supermassive Blaze and Mad Bulls are about to fight in no time. Opening being found from Savian on Yin Yang. That's a huge one, at least to buy some time off. Mad Bulls So again, shouldn't really be that big of a problem. But again, if you talk about the wall of death, it's moving in quite quick. And Mad Bulls will need to beat the timing as quick as possible. Supermassive Blaze in the front. They will need to try and at least crack open the defense. But Supermassive Blaze, it seems like they're on a back foot. So trying to give a little bit of room to Mad Bulls to work with, and I don't really know what the game plan's over here.
They needed to stop them though on this crossing, but Supermassive Blaze, as you said, they started to step back. They're trying to play for position inside of the zone. They're relying on the blue zone, catching up with Mad Bulls. It is getting towards them, but Mad are making an extreme push into the faces of Supermassive Blaze, and Molly directly on one should try to split them and found Savian. In effect, he can't run by death, as Savian will clean them through. Entering onto the compound, but they found even one more as the crate inside might just be Savian's grave, and it will confirm it there. The extra kill point going through. But it's all chaos right now as Kef on the backside. Now Crucera looking to punish him on the out.
Oh, here we go. Crucera does realize the man went on the right side, and now he's getting charged on, position revealed, and now Mad Bulls, they're quite hungry, and they're quite mad because Supermassive Blaze are able to take them down one by one. Kef does realize there's only one last man alive, but guess what? Yin Yang coming in clutch for his team, and he will also get the rest back upon the fallen man. Mad Bulls somehow able to make it alive inside this game this late. Gory will be back upon his feet, but on the other hand, there's just so many bullets being fired. It's a complete chaos.
This is huge for Mad Bulls, though, and they've got to pray for that sudden shift back in towards them. But on the river front, it's all do or die. As right now, Xset are trying to fend their position off. They used to control. As Aton as well did dive on into the water side, as Knights as well. Going to be the third. Furious Gaming a fourth, and it is about controlling this edge of the water. But that zone, it went up to the north, all of me to make the crossing. Knights, we will be able to make that a reality. But now for the rest of those teams, Atom, Xset, Mad Bulls, how are they going to cross? I think this might be the end of the road for them, or the end of the road in terms of the river for them, because there isn't any road left.
As you mentioned, yeah, Aton still trying to cross over. Utilizing those smokes as well to try and block off enemy vision, but still that's not going to be enough. Furious Gaming spotting the man out from Xset. Oh, quite lucky though. Didn't really catch any bullets. Missing quite a lot of shots. Poppy is not going to be happy about that one. Rise now looking to take over the compound of S2G. S2G having the prime positioning inside the zone, right in the smack center, and Rise are quite jealous of that. And look at this, nade quite close, but still able to make it back in the nick of time. And while that nade finally blows up, and Nunes is the man who gets caught in that explosion. And now Rise looking to inflict pain on the H2G. Timber goes down, but Rise seems like there's just an unstoppable force of nature. They're pushing inside, and they want the man of H2G dead. Silence Pew is taken down quite low. It's the final man as well, and Rise just like that, easily able to take him out.
They couldn't control the center of zone. It went towards them. Rise obliterated them with the nades. And as you said, force of nature just blowing the faces off of S2G with the 100-mile-per-hour gales of those nades. As Aton will live to see only game 4 as Xset send them packing there. Polo still alive in a 9-kill game for Xset. A huge series of kills. I almost wish I could have seen it earlier. This is an Xset that I wanted to look for, but Blue Chap Town also, they need these points, and they're rising against the first, of rising against Rise.
Oh, here we go. It's time for second wave now, Rise. You better be ready for this one. The defense is starting to crumble a little bit for Rise. The men are down quite low. They need to patch himself back up. And it's all down to Mufasa and Gary now until the two men are trying to heal themselves back up. But Nunes, that's quite a great name. Metric able to break it out alive on a sliver of health. And well, guess what? Bullock, they're just able to crack this defense open easily. Ilian Kid. Oh, that smoke was quite good to try and bite a little bit more time. But Rise finally fall down. But guess what? Ilian Kid as well falls over the flames. Oh no, that's not really a good thing. What's going on? Defense are getting cracked open.
But look at the rest of the teams. Blue Chap Town has secured the win. I think this should be it. Knights, they're going to take the river fight onto Polo, onto Kill Switch. He's going all submissive. He's going all down under the rest of the water. And he is a submarine, but I think Xenox, he's been spotted. He's trying his best. He's trying his best to find the shots onto Kill Switch. He shouldn't be able to find them both. Maybe he does. Oh no, it Kill Switch is the one inside of the water. He is still alive, but for both on no HP and Kill Switch, he cannot find a position in that molly. Is it enough? Barely. Not quite. Xenox does get up the river. Now into the fray of Blue Chap Tan though. There's a nade. City is coming down, baby, and Blue Chap Tan, they're looking. Final population of 2. They could only be 4 alive, and I think they've got it.
how did Kill Switch let Xenox cross over? That's my first question. How can this get that close? And well, here we go. Final man from XZ. Kill Switch does realize there's no way he's going to be able to clutch this. Jumps in the water. He needs to make it on the land, but I'm pretty sure Kill Switch now is getting hunted. The man falls down in the water just to give his exact position away. Kill Switch position being compromised. The wall of death moving in, taking quite a lot of damage. He's not going to be able to withstand it. And XZ falls down, and Bullock again, another chicken dinner. What's going on? Oh my god, Bullock. They're looking pretty good today.
Oh man, Baluk, Chab, Tan here. They are looking so darn good in today. The second chicken dinner in just today alone. I honestly think that now coming in onto these final 2 games, they've been able to qualify off of that result. That was the type of star-studded result that we were looking for, Necro. And that only makes it harder, because that's one less spot now for all the rest of these teams have to worry about. Because as we said, only one is going to get eliminated by the end of the day, and I don't think it's going to be Baluk anymore.
Yep, I don't think so that as well, because Bullock winning 2 games today, man, that's absolutely massive, and they really needed this. And we've been talking about how Bullock is really good working under the pressure, and this is a prime example of that.
Yeah, and it's now coming through onto Baluk, not only them, but also I think some of the mistakes coming through these other teams. So we talked about the pressure, yes, Baluk been able to step up massive in on today, but Eastern Stars, yes, they did amazing against this fight versus Unicorn. So Love Football is not so much against A7, still an interesting fight coming through from them. But the fact that they couldn't convert that series of kills from Unicorns to Love in onto that, I think quite frankly, easier way in onto the northern side of Georgia Pole and into what could have been a great game for Eastern Stars, and also them qualifying was a big letdown from them. I think XZ as well made that mistake of also entering in through, but I like that XZ also adapted. They went instead to go for the river, as we said, that more western side was open, and as a result, still, it was XZ that with that extra information was able to be decisive in that change of plan and then get that second position, get those 10 kills in that game. And it was, despite XZ being, yes, eliminated from contention, still a massive game from them.
Yeah, it is a huge game, but it's a little too late, man. They're not going to be able to make it in top 16. We all know that. Yeah, it's a little bit of sad news, but still. Yeah, in the end, Furious Gaming as well were right underneath that bridge. They were able to rack up quite a decent amount of kills, not gonna lie. But Rise, overall, I do like that aggression being shown from their side. They did realize it's a do-or-die movement. You'd rather go inside and try and get S2G down. If you're not really able to do so, that means you won't really have that good of a positioning. And in the end, we also saw that little emo from Bullock Chaptan because they knew they won it.
I mean, to be fair, yes, they deserve it. Blue Chaptan, they took down the first in leaderboard. But now, as we said, what's it going to be for the rest of these teams? Analyst desk, take it away.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what my thoughts are coming into all these games. Once again, Baluk Chaptan just absolutely just knocking it out of the park. A second win on Erangel. I mean, Zute, Baluk Chaptan, they definitely figured it out. I think they're pretty secure.
Yeah, Baluk, they want it, right? And I got one question for chat real quick. Are you not entertained? Man, this last day could not get any better. And also, a little shout out to XZ right there, 23 points. You need to do that like every game 10 games ago. But they're still showing up. They're still clutching it out. I love that NA versus NA final moment there. But the push by Baluk onto that team, Rise, that was so well executed. But the Baluk team, man, where has this Baluk team been all super weekend long?
That's kind of my question for 7, actually. Like, what has changed? Like, we definitely saw at the beginning things just weren't working out for them, but what changed since that first week?
They started focusing on Erangel. That's literally the thing that changed. By the way, shout out to Exit Killswitch being able to get that MVP, 5 elims. I'm so happy we at least got to see an Exit player here on the MVP, 804 damage as well. Good job, Exit. See, I was telling you that. You guys don't have to go crazy. You guys had the potential to even get here. Just go back to the drawing table. Don't be switching out players here at the end. But going back to what we were saying with Baluk is, I mean, the improvements that they have done in Erangel, it's so insane. I mean, right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is this Super Weekend 3 chicken dinners in Erangel alone, which is huge because considering that's the map that we're going to be playing a lot more, even in the finals. It's going to be interesting if they're going to be able to ride that momentum, right? You see them now in 13th place, more than likely. I mean, I think it's safe to say they definitely qualified. It comes down now between Black Dragons, which is currently in 16, Mad Bulls, and Supermassive Blaze. And those teams, to be completely honest, and I'm going to go with Supermassive Blaze here, they just really haven't showed us anything today, Sute.
And Supermassive Blaze, another thing to note is they've come in at 3 Super Weekends. Take a look at Mad Bulls, Black Dragons, Eastern Stars. All of those teams ahead of them have only been playing 2 Super Weekends. So Supermassive Blaze, like, they're at a 15-game advantage, and they're still towards the bottom. So we only got a couple games left, even playing field, so to say. Supermassive Blaze, they really need to step it up, or they're gonna go down in a blaze of fire and just sadness if they don't qualify.
Oh man, well, Mad Bulls are only 3 points away from catching up to Black Dragons in that 16th place spot, and Supermassive Blaze is only 6 points away with 2 matches left. I mean, that should be doable, but obviously there's not enough space for 2, so that's a little bit concerning in terms of who's going to go on ahead and grab that 16th spot. I feel like that's definitely what we're just waiting for at this point, and you're right, we haven't really seen much from them these first couple of matches, so they have 2 more chances to really bring it back. You guys as well watching can go on ahead and get involved by getting yourself some treasure boxes. It's already started on December 21st is when this first stage is going to end. Get a PMGC token by watching live on YouTube in the in-game Esports Center or through our social media, and go on ahead and redeem it to get the sweet, sweet loot. The second stage of this treasure box hunt will be starting next week on the 22nd, and it'll end on the January 13th, so stay tuned and get these surprises that are yet to come. And that, of course, leads into our next question as well. Y'all, we already asked which team looks the strongest going into the finals, but also, who is your league phase MVP? We talked multiple times about this already. All these MVPs that are showing up on board, there's a lot of bounties for players to be going on ahead and grabbing. So go on ahead and say who your league MVP is right now, and they might just go on ahead and grab a bounty. Go ahead, put it in chat. Otherwise, we're going to be throwing it to a break. It's going to be onto our favorite map on Sanhok, where we're going to see some more action go down in a short bit.
I saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration. And the first steps. I am the 1+9.
Bringing it back to PMGC West League, we're about to be jumping on into our Sanhok match. It's notable to say, though, that it is our second to last match. Only 2 more games stand between finals for these teams, and the top 16 are the only ones that are going to be able to make it. I mean, Sanhok, once again, we kept saying it's Brazilian teams that go on ahead and grab it, but even yesterday, a little bit of a shakeup. A7 actually going on ahead and taking the win. Zute, based off of that, I mean, can we really say who's going to win this one?
It is Sanhok. I'm just gonna go by the stats, right? The numbers, which teams have showed up the most, and it is always the Brazilians. But so I think I'm predicting, something of that nature to happen. Another thing I want to throw out there though is the bottom of the leaderboards, right? Top 16. It is so extremely close, and with Sanhok being such a volatile map, I feel like we're gonna see more first aid or med strats out of these bottom teams than we have seen before. If anything, there's a chance that coming into today, they specifically might have came up with a strat for Sanhok to secure as many points as possible by means of med stratting. So we might see something interesting today for this Sanhok match.
On the same token as well, 7, Sanhok being much smaller, obviously much easier to go on ahead and hot drop people. Sanhok also being smaller, usually the best map for multiple teams to be able to go on ahead and get aggressive and get kills. Do you think that could go on ahead and kind of contribute to these teams and their points?
I think it can definitely help out teams like Supermassive Blaze, and I love what Sute was saying there. If they do decide to pretty much just do the health strategy, right? Just go for that. You will secure some placement points. But I think with Supermassive Blaze, if they do have the confidence right now, they will more than likely try to third party some of the fights going on. And that's pretty much the beauty of Sanhok, that there's just so much madness going on. If you put your team in a great position to third party another team, it's gonna trickle down to the points that you're gonna be able to get out of this map. Overall, I am gonna be looking at all of the teams, all of the Brazilian teams, all of those aggressive teams as well. Another team that kind of falls into that line is gonna be Besiktas, because they actually ended up winning yesterday's Sanhok with 14 elims. So it seems that aggressiveness does go to the favor of the winning team here in Sanhok. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Supermassive Blaze decides not to health strat and just go super aggressive.
We'll have to wait and see. I guess I'll lead though right into our predictions. I'm just gonna go first actually, because I chose not Supermassive Blaze this time. I gave them my last 2 predictions. This time I'm going with Mad Bulls, because again, it still is Supermassive Blaze and Mad Bulls still at the bottom of the leaderboard that really are gonna be duking it out for that 16th place spot. And I'm just gonna choose Mad this time because last Sanhok yesterday, they got in 4th place with 5 kills. So they can get up there in terms of placement points. Now they just need kills in there as well. How about you, Zoo?
I'm going to go with Rise simply because they're in the first place team right now overall, and they're a Brazilian team. So Rise Esports. There you go for Sanhok.
There you go. How about you, 7?
Oh, what's that, Rico? Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Alpha 7. Alpha 7 hasn't really shown up that much today. It's been kind of like a lackluster day, at least for Alpha 7. I would love to see a lot more out of them. And as Sute mentioned, Alpha 7 is also a Brazilian team. They are currently in 2nd place. We still got that little brother versus big brother thing going on between Alpha 7 and Rise Esports. So I'm looking to see for them to continue that rivalry.
Definitely good choices. We love it when we see Alpha 7 and Rise go ahead and duke it out on each other as well. And I think we said this yesterday as well. I kind of want to see them take this fight on Sanhok. So I don't think we ended up getting that wish yesterday, but maybe today's the day we'll be able to see that. Neither of these teams, of course, grabbing the win the other day. Kind of want to see if they're going to kind of be able to bring it back and reaffirm their strength on this map today.
One thing I'm looking at is Xset too. Xset had a really good game just now, right? Xset has been struggling all season long, but now they came off the back of a decent game. We know they're going to get contested by the Knights because the Knights are really pushing out there. I want to see if Xset can win a fight against the Knights again on this Sanhok map.
I'm glad you brought that up because we're about to be jumping right into it, and that's going to be the first fight we see. So let's get into it. Sanhok, second to last match. Let's go, Wolf and Necro.
Thank you very much, Span. We're heading up to our final Sanhok game at the Super Weekend and the League stage before the finals. And this is the do or die moment. Yes, I think we can talk about the Rises here. Of course, being in that first position, they've gained 165 points this Super Weekend. That's been amazing, but they're only part of the problem when it comes to this problem really being down at the bottom end of the leaderboard. 17th, 18th position, Necro. Mad Bulls, Supermassive Blaze. There's 3 points in between these 2 teams. I think it's down between these 2 squads who goes through, who doesn't. Because with that last game, Axon, Eastern Stars have kind of done enough. Oh yeah, that first zone is pretty tough. Now, these 2 teams, they've done enough. Add-on Eastern Stars, should I say. So we can qualify as long as they have some decent results. But it's all down, of course, who's going to be that extra one. And I think Mad Bulls, as we said, Supermassive Blaze, these are two teams that we're keeping an eye on because they are single-digit points away from qualifying and not qualifying. So we're going to see Nice here continuing through. Of course, heading up towards X sets right now. Jay is going to look potentially to find out flank course J7 though. He's the one in danger right now. Xenox Coops are edging it forward. Chico on the back end as well. Slowly closing in. The nade will land over the building, and that's going to be the first strike. And there comes a Go Station. Necro, they're going in.
Oh, they're going in. They're definitely going in. But on the other hand now, Scoops, as you mentioned, he's trying to charge in. He finds one. He's taken down quite low, though, but still, as long as he's able to get those kills, that's what really matters for Knights. And keep this thing in mind. Knights, they do not want any casualties on their name. And look at this. Taking his time, killing that man, and putting him to sleep.
Is that what he's doing? Is he putting him to sleep? Is he putting the pillow under his head, and he's just wrapping a warm blanket over him? Yeah, I know. Coops is like that kind of guy, you know, who would take care of a fallen comrade. He sends him to sleep real nice.
Yeah, he does. But on the other hand, now Supermassive Blaze as well on the move. This game is quite important. On 18th position, keep this in mind. One team from the bottom team or from the bottom four will only go up. Actually, just Mad Bulls and Supermassive Blaze. One team from these two can move up in the top 16. So this game is going to be quite important for both these teams. If both of them just don't perform well, that means Black Dragons will make it up in the top 16 and they will find themselves quite lucky. I'm pretty sure at this point in time, Black Dragons they're just praying to their gods at this point in time. They're just praying, please, Mad Bulls and Supermassive Blaze.
No.
I hope you guys not able to play good.
No, I don't think it's happening. I think the Black Dragons, what we should have really been praying for is a better result and better skill in those first two Super Weekends, because I'm afraid you don't make it, you got to put out the consequences. And even Na'Vi, who, yes, will qualify, coming in onto that finals, you've got to imagine a 40-point gap is clearly enough. But they're still not going to look pretty. They're still going to be in that 14th, 15th position. And it's all about making sure you have the pride of being as high up on that leaderboard as you can. Na'Vi, not the one we would have expected to be so low. But Unicorns of Love are going to put Furious Gaming even lower on this leaderboard too. Is Pappy Potro going to get taken out by Lin? And they're only looking for even more. Is yes, one man Dan Rolkis. They'll clean up the fight on the opposite end, except Polo as well. We're going to get run over by Next Royer. He does confirm one, but it's X-Set in 16th position. And this is actually music to the ears, of course. There's more dropping. It's not Supermassive Blaze or Mad for getting these extra points.
Dude, but the damage has already been done on the next three, and that's not a good thing. They're down to a two-man squad. Not going to be happy after that. One at A7, their sights locked on the next three now. Looking to take this kill. Spray comes through, finds one. That's quite a good one. That's a beam, what I like to call it. Korea able to find one, and now here comes the charge in from the side of A7. I don't really know if they're going to be fully committing to it, but still, they do realize the damage has been done on this team, so maybe they can always try and go for these kills. A7 in the map of Sanhok, they have been looking absolutely excellent, and they can always try and keep the momentum forward. They can always try and keep the momentum going in the map of Sanhok as well. They're just so phenomenal on this map. I don't really know what it is about A7, but always, as soon as they're done looting that boot camp, they instantly just go for that hill right next to the boot camp. And now A7 looking to take down next three. At the same time, they do spot a crucial rotation coming in from the side of H2G. We're not able to find any kind of bullets. We're not able to find any connection there, but still, they're able to scare them away.
And it's A7, they're not even just that great. They're the best when it comes to Sanhok. An average here on Sanhok of 14.4 points per game on this map is almost a chicken dinner, and that's huge compared to the volatility of Sanhok. They got even more points here than the average that they do on Miramar, which is a much safer map by all means and purposes compared to the jungles of this one. The smoke will be used, just get them across to the opposite end of the compound as they are looking to flank you around next Royer and looking to finish up this fight, because keep in mind that was a southern side zone in of A7. They are inside of that zone. They're looking, of course, further towards those bridges, because that's, as we said, where this southern zone really matters. Is it going to go to that southwest island? Is it going to stay on the mainland of Sanhok? That's the question that needs to be deciphered. And to get control of those bridges, it gives you the options of if you want to go to either of these sides, whichever way it goes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if the circle does shift down south on the left side, on the bottom left, there's going to be a lot of choke points, as you mentioned, and those bridges are going to be those choke points. So teams can always go and try to camp those bridges for sure. But on the other hand, now Nextria finally taking a lot of shots onto them. Nihat taken down quite low. Inside the house, Yikta as well is taking a lot of shots onto himself. Then Nate's going to be closing Nihat down to quite low on a sliver of HP, though. Nihat still trying to fight back, just trying to pre-fire this angle. But in the end, Revo is just a little too good for him. And Revo is going to be putting the final nail in the coffin. Nextria taking out the game. They're not really able to perform up till the mark, Jake.
No, it's a beautiful nade though onto Nihat. It didn't take him out, but it took him so low they had to then use the first aid kit to be able to hick back up into full HP. And from there, he can't fire back. So A7... they utilized that few seconds that they had to be able to make the push, and it was just clean coming through from A7. And they secure, of course, that spot heading down from Koi onto that riverside. S2G as well making their way over towards that riverside versus Knights. Painan, that could be the next fight that could happen as we do start to get towards the lull period of this first phase as teams do begin to close their way in across to this outer ring of the first phase zone itself, and first phase does start to close further through. My problem, though, is teams like Mad Bulls, they're all the way up, as high as you can go, in onto Cow. Yin Yang is cool, but the highest northern point of Sanhok you can possibly find, I don't think they know what they're doing. They look a little bit confused to me, Necro. They're heading north when that zone is south.
Same. I don't really know what's actually going through their mind as well. And now, if you talk about late rotation, Mad Bulls and Eastern Stars are going to be having a lot of problem. We do know late rotation means you're not really going to be having a lot of info to work with. You just don't know where teams are exactly positioned. And this is where Mad Bulls might just find themselves in a bit of a tricky spot. Even though, as I mentioned, Mad Bulls and Supermassive Blaze, things are quite close between them, and only one of them can make it in the top 16. So a lot of things in line and a lot of pressure as well. On the other hand, we have seen Mad Bulls just working so good under pressure. So I'm expecting a lot of things from Mad Bulls.
This is a big game, though, also for Supermassive Blaze on the other end of this coin, because they are, of course, in the center of this zone. They have the ability to be able to make that switch if it does. The problem, though, for Supermassive Blaze is they've not done a great job, though, of surrounding the surrounding areas, looking out and scouting information of these teams, like S2G coming up, like Knights coming up. They've actually stuck together a very close formation over the head of Painan, and because they haven't found this information, they're going to actually, in the next few moments, even though that zone, it has shifted further south, it's going to be very difficult for them to control, and ideally control as best as possible all of these teams coming from that northern, that western side.
Oh man, A7, they need to book it on the bridge as quick as possible if they're not able to do so, but Shiktas are going to be having full control of that. And talking about control, Knights looking to take over the control from H2G. One man being taken out. They just want to inflict a little bit more pain. At this point in time, this fight must be just a little bit of like poke and go fight. They're not really going to be finding any confirmations over here. Instead, just to instill a little bit of fear in the enemy team. Timber able to catch a little headshot on the Coops, and wow, that's a great shot. Oh, I know it's quite lucky. He just tried to pre-fire that, but still Coops. Oh, he's just going to be banging his head against the wall, Jake.
That's right, it's Knights. You can't find that revive as ideal. It was very far out, but Knights still need to continue to move further forward. I don't think if Painan is really where they want to be fighting, it's going to be so difficult to control both sides of this, and also keep an eye on S2G, and as we said, Supermassive Blaze across the hillside. I like this Supermassive Blaze, so they are hitting up the more outer edge of that hillside. They're heading up towards more Painan, as they are heading over the summit of that to keep that information on board. And that's what we said, information is going to be power for Supermassive Blaze in this final game of Sanhok to make sure that they can uphold their position, because yes, they get a great position, but being the center of a zone like this is also very risky. And if they aren't going to control that information, they aren't going to keep these players off of them, you're going to find that actually a team like Mad Bulls, even though being so far out of the zone, will outlive Supermassive Blaze, because SMB, they have to take those fights early on.
Supermassive Blaze have a really good positioning inside the zone, Jake, and if they're able to defend that positioning, till the end, this might just be their game. Right? But again, yeah, that's really crucial. But again, we have seen Supermassive Blaze just crack under a lot of pressure. And this might just be one of those games where the same thing, the same cycle just repeats itself. Or maybe we're just going to be seeing a complete new Supermassive Blaze. And they're able to defend that hill top perfectly. On the other hand, Coops, though, I like the guts on this man. Still peeks out even though he's taking a lot of damage. And Timber catches a couple bullets on his head. Still looking a little decent for now. STG and Coops, as I mentioned, STG a nice fight. This is just going to be a little poke and go fight. If they're able to find a couple of knocks, that's going to be a good thing. Because, of course, that's going to be putting Knights in such an uncomfortable spot. But on the other hand now, Knights, they're down 2 men. That means it's just left with the one last man alive, Xenox. Things are not going to be looking good. And Knights, after those 2 knocks, they're going to be sweating.
But it was a second knock that came from A7. Crucially, A7, they saw the kills. They saw both of them drop and they sent it full on in. And Xenox, he's the only one left here. Skips over the river. They're flying over it. Is A7. I don't think they're even interested in the fight, but they are looking for it slowly as they do. S2G tries to spray down. They won't find any. And now this is a problem we said of Pine out fighting around it. Yes, they find a revive. It's a beautiful shot coming in for Xenox. A beautiful punish. As the Axis Surprise finds at least one, but they have to continue to find the rest. And Alucard, he will go down to the 2v1 on the northern end. And Xenox and Coops, they are low and incapable when it comes to getting across this. But can they take Kurio down with them?
Oh, Kurio now close to 2 players, but guess what? He's just too quick at those peaks. Finds one, confirms the kill instantly. Coops taking out the game now. That's a huge threat eliminated. But still, you need to take care of a man like Xenox. He's still alive in the game, and we do know Xenox have pulled off some insane clutches in the past, but this time it's against A7. It's against the Alpha Tines. Is he going to be able to pull off this one? Nasty question. Trying to patch himself back up. Does hear a lot of footsteps. He does hear a lot of info. Is he going to crack under the pressure? That's the question. Lobs in a Molotov to try and bite some more time off. And A7, they're looking at just punish Xenox over here. Kurio on the charge. He does not seem like he's faded away inside this one. He's not scared. He just wants to take the man down for getting shot from the back, but still Xenox trying his best to hold this position off. And finally, he will fall down somewhere down line. And yes, he does. That's a perfect trade coming in from the side of A7.
Yeah, it's actually beautiful from Cinetex. He just jumps in onto the head of Mafioso, blocks all the bullets. Yes, he goes down, but he allows Mafioso to be able to confirm the kill by tanking every single one of the shots that are nice. So a beautiful finish there from A7, where it doesn't look pretty. It was still the best way that they could have taken him out. It's now that zone, of course, it has centered further down south. And Football is with the other team here that really had this zone under control. They had the hilltop, and actually they like this. They've got their split coming through. The 2 on the northern side, as well as Lutz on the flank. They should be able to defend this hilltop, but it is going to be difficult. As we said, a lot of this southern phase means that there are going to be more teams heading further south. It's a unfortunate situation there for Eastern Stars. Bazzi getting caught by Furious Gaming on their own rotation and reduced down to a 2. But they're still further out. They're on the edges of Tam Bang. This zone ain't there. It's in towards Mortar, Van Tai, Camp Charlie side. Some me of things.
Look at A7 and Unicorns Love. These are the only teams that are currently alive, and they have a lot of elimination points in their name. Knights was the another team that had 4 eliminations, but still, them taking out the equation now. It's only left the A7 and Unicorns Love, 2 dominant teams. They're trying to inflict a lot of pain on the enemy side. Able to find a knock on Fenerbahce, and now Scream from the side of Furious Gaming. The only man left alive. He needs to take care of 2 players, but Aphis, this man is heroic. He takes down the final man, and he's going to be taking care of him. Eastern Stars looking pretty decent inside the game. They have 1 man taken down there now. They only have 3 men to work with, but still, in the map of Sanhok, it shouldn't really be that difficult of a task.
Yeah, they should be able to find that survival opportunity for them. I think Mad Bulls as well as same, right? You're heading further in. When do you make that decision? To send, I think, one of these Mad Bull members back into the blue zone just to heal. They shouldn't have to do it just now. They have, of course, this next phase 3. Phase 4 is where they decide if that's happening or not just now, right? Van Nado, that's certainly 100% true. That will confirm the kill onto him. And Blue Chaptan Alien Kid is in some danger now. Lin on the back side, as you can see the shots coming on the back end from him. Woodstone on the top, and he's completely surrounded. Alien Kid, he sends his final prayers. He is going over. He doesn't find Volkiz. He confirms Volkiz away. That should not be allowed.
Oh, he's thirsty. Oh, he's thirsty. Ilion Kid. And if he finds any knock over here at this point, he's just going to be going for the thirst instantly. But GK first in the close now. making sure even if Woodson does go down, he's able
Pinned
to
down
trade
as
things
well.
off. And Ilian Kid, yeah, as you mentioned, Ilian Kid is pinned down. It's a 1-on-3 situation, actually. Lin is all the way in the back. He can try and go for the support play, but no, instead is GK first, quite quick with that peek. On top of the rock, is able to take down another man, though. But over here, GK first finds another one. This leaves Maidon, the only man alive from Bullet Chaptan. He's prone down to the grass, making sure, or hoping at least, that his position haven't been revealed yet. He can try and go for those just trigger discipline plays, but guess what? GK first single-handedly is just demolishing, is dismantling Bullet Chaptan.
And this was Lin getting naded out on the backside, and Blue Chaptani ran in for the support, but they got 3 knocked by GK first, and now, as they should send it back at least one, potentially to try find that revive. Yes, they will onto Lin, with so making that move, and it's down to the 1v1. GK first versus Madone is A7. Are still to head further in onto this zone, but they're up against the more crucial Mad Bulls as we do, of course, look at Unicorns of Love. They will confirm the 1v4. GK first solos away the entirety of Blue Chaptan. But my eyes are firmly square on. Of course, it's by A7. Looking just to actually bypass Mad Bulls, try to catch them off further in onto this next phase.
Monkey did spot the players of A7 making quite a crucial rotation. They take a couple of shots, but A7 find themselves a safe compound. Still, the compound is not really inside the circle. It's quite close. I do want to know how are A7 going to be able to crack through Football's defense. Football is right on top of the hill. They're going to make sure A7 aren't really able to cross on either side of the zone. So that's going to be a little bit of a tough task for them. But on the other hand, now Mad Bull's taking a lot of shots onto themselves. They're also taking a lot of damage from the Wall of Death. Finally on a move. And oh no, a little bit of drunk driving over there.
Yeah, I'm not sure they realize how to get across this. I mean, Monkey will just be confirmed away. There's no way out of it. Effecto taking out in the backside. The healer is down, but we were trying to find on the back end. There's now Agri left, the only one alive. Yin Yang as well going to drop, and it is rightly so down. They left a short second further back, and this is crucial. 22 first aid kits. That's how long Agri has to last in this game, and it's the only option they've got, but I like it. Because they knew there is no way. There's no way as soon as A7 get across that road and they don't take them out that they can get in. So it is the right decision, and that's all Mad Bulls have. It's a prayer they can survive in placement points. That's unknown, not so lucky. His Rise will confirm away the second, but Mufasa punished that over-aggression in the open as they will strike him back.
22 freaking first aid on that man. He does realize if things go south, he's always going to be going for those first aid battles. That's what he's exactly doing. Now we know exactly why Mad Bulls were taking so long to rotate inside the circle. Instead, they were just trying to find those meds. S2G 2 men short. Left with only Silas P to work with now. He's utilizing those smokes to try and block off Footballist vision, but still, is that going to be enough? That's a question, because A7, on the other hand, they're trying to steal these kills away. Soulk, Nate was quite close to him, but still able to dodge it in the nick of time, and now Soulk is on that aggressive foot. He does realize Silas P is right behind the rock. The drop shot comes in. Silas P falls down. And now Footballers, they get the complete control of the hill. They get the complete control of the high ground. But still, if you talk about the low ground control, A7 still have it in their hands.
The right zone, baby, is going up towards Besiktas. It's switching sides. It's betrayed Footballist. And there's a drama. The story of Game 4 continues. Besiktas now to defend, but Footballist, they're not done quite yet with it. As A7, Mafioso will drop next to the hands of Footballist. There's going to be 8 kills in total. A massive game for them. We still need to navigate further in as Lin, not so fortunate, will get taken out by the hands of Supermassive Blaze. Also, can SMB control this now? Is Footballist on the tear? Are the next ones into the zone for them? They will confirm at least one. Love is in.
Oh my God.
That's another crucial point for them.
I absolutely love this.
Oh, I do indeed. Right, as Supermassive Blaze continuing further forwards. Only will lose a second as Besiktas reset on the back end. They had the control of the zone and they'll silence away Besiktas as they will lose on Supermassive Blaze's hands. Now more 2, down to a solo. And Shron has to keep himself alive. Keep in mind, Mad Bulls is still healing. 17 first aid kits. He's going for days, baby. And the rest is Supermassive Blaze. They don't look like they're going for much longer at all. As it all goes down to the healing and Necro. That nade it almost landed.
Oh, that was quite close. That was quite close. GK first. I'm pretty sure he's going to be thanking his gods at this point. He does realize how lucky he is. Down a sliver of health is the only hope left alive for Unicorn Love. We do know Supermassive Blaze, this game's quite important. Tron is the only man left alive. He's still doing quite a great job, though, Supermassive Blaze. They have 5 points in their name up till now, and Supermassive Blaze, Tron, able to find another man, a footballist. This league footballist and just have one last man alive. Rom is the only man left alive. Now it might just be a one-on-one situation. If they do go for a fight inside this Mythic, yup, he can try and go for that Spoiled Sport. He can try and go for that Trigger Discipline play. But guess what? From the back, it's Besiktas stealing that kill away, and Rom able to take down the final man Arise.
Oh no, it's all gone wrong though for the rest of... You look, Supermassive Blaze, 9 positions, 6 kills. We're only getting 1 placement point. That's 7 in total of Eastern Stars. So he's inside the snake realm. I don't think so lucky. He is pretty much obvious. There's no snaking for him, but Octavian, he's getting these points in hand. So are Mad Bulls now in onto the top 5. There's at least 6 points guaranteed. Make it now into 10, just like that, says Mad Bulls. They're surviving Aton. Now be the 4th to fall.
Oh my god, Octavian. Just keeping his trigger discipline, just making sure he's able to buy as much as time as possible. If he gets spotted, that's going to be it for him. He gets spotted, gets taken down, and Besiktas are pretty much withered off the game of this game of Sanhok. But we still have Mad Bulls trying to heal it out, trying their best to make it as long as possible. Still 3 teams alive. It's between Eastern Stars and Mad Bulls now. He's going to be getting that 2nd place. Kapahala is taking a lot of damage, and I feel like he's going to... No, he's got it. Eastern Stars are the 2nd place, and Mad Bulls, they're able to make it on the 3rd place. Still, though, a good performance from the side of Mad Bulls.
A massive performance coming through from Mad Bulls. They needed those 10 points. The overtake now. Understanding Supermassive Blaze by 1 point.
Oh, look at this.
And it's coming down to it. As Eastern Stars are here, and they know Besiktas, they'll clap and they'll dance their way to victory. This is only so many first aid kits. It's going to be a long game that we're still going to have. As Eastern Stars, it won't die too ezy.
He just hit his own teammate.
Oh, he did.
He did. Oh no, come on, Besiktas, come on. Well, at this point, Besiktas do know the final man is going for it.
What if
they
can't
try to do that?
Needed each other, and Eastern Stars comes out with a win.
No, that's not gonna happen. Let's just stay on the reality. That's not gonna happen. But what? He still has 14 first days left.
Oh no, we're gonna be casting for a while here, Necro.
Yeah, we're gonna be over here for a while for sure. Yeah, we're gonna be over here for a while.
Have a coffee.
Oh man, how does he have so many first days left? Even though it's pretty much 8 souls. I don't know. No, they're just trying to spam those nades at this point. They do know it's pretty much done. They have won the game, but still, they're just waiting for the man to run out of first aids. But it feels like he's still going to be going for a while.
He's not dying. He's not dying.
Yeah, he's not today, man. Not today. Not today. He's taking Besiktas with him.
I mean, if I'm Besiktas, if I'm one of their teammates, I feel like I would honestly just nade 2 of them in that car, and I would just have the solo. I mean, it doesn't matter to the points of stars, but I would still upset my own team. I would still create some drama as they're dancing away, continuing over.
Oh, they're just scouting.
Oh, they are. But I mean, they're not going to scout very far. They're trying. I think they're looking for the final kill. Maybe it's coming towards them, but it's not. He's still inside his home. He's still waiting. Finally,
there we go.
The zone takes him away. Ah, and we finally have a breath of fresh air as that game is finally finished. Eastern Stars. I thought they would survive for all the way to the end of that first aid kit. I wasn't expecting, quite frankly, he would even die to that zone. But so what did we get to? Like phase 7, phase 8, finally it came up.
Oh man, I can't believe this, man. Eastern Stars, they do realize they did need those points, but I feel like more than Eastern Stars, Supermassive Blaze and Mad Bulls needed those. And Mad Bulls, in the end, they were able to play to perfection, did realize if things do go south, we were literally having a conversation. Why is Mad Bulls taking this long to rotate inside the zone? And well, we did find out in the end why was that the case, because they were just looting those compounds, racking up those first aids on that one single man. If things do go south, Mad Bulls will of course go for that heal battle, and that's what they exactly did.
It was huge for Mad Bulls, so Agri, as we said, stepping up so well, and because actually we saw that 5th and 4th place fall down so quickly, Mad Bulls were able to actually secure themselves that 3rd position. As we said, we're able to secure actually a lead of a Supermassive Blaze by that 1 point margin on that game overall. As A7, though, I think was a huge game for them to clean up that fight, and I think coming into this mid part of the game, yes, we saw these kills left and right on the rest of the leaderboard, but I think a little bit of a disappointment if we are talking elsewhere to the fact of Knights in Painan, because Knights should have had a better game. Instead, A7 rampaged through them and then created this almost domino effect of players, as you could see now, having to fight their way further in because they skipped out Mad Bulls, and then it was from there. Supermassive Blaze desperately trying to control everyone away, but they couldn't do it, and that was the problem with Supermassive Blaze. They didn't have the control earlier on, so they had no setup to be able to defend when these teams did finally push on in.
I feel like you're seeing a lot of hesitancy from this side of Supermassive Blaze, and you clearly did see that. I feel like instead, if they would have been a little bit more aggressive inside the zone, that could have panned out, because they could have been the Guardian Angels of the next zone as well. But Supermassive Blaze, instead, they decided to take their time, and in the end, they just got pushed on by other teams and they got taken out. I feel like in that position, Supermassive Blaze should have definitely been a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, unfortunately for Supermassive Blaze, they do have to be aggressive though now, because they are in the elimination spot. It's all down to them to be able to fight against Mad Bulls in the final game.
We knew it was going to come down to this. Two teams at least duking out for that 16th place spot, but just by how much? We'll be able to take a look at that overall leaderboard in a bit, but Zute once again, Besiktas, they won. Sanhok again, Eastern Stars getting second place again as well.
Besiktas, I'm telling you, this is the team with only 2 super weekends, and they are currently, I believe, like in the top 7. This is a team you really got to watch out for coming into the finals, and they're carrying that momentum over. Looking at the second page right now, well, most of these teams are fine. You see BC in there, but Luke Chaptan, they did only get 2 points. They had such huge games already that, like we said, they're pretty much safe. It comes down those two teams out of Mad Bulls and Supermassive Blaze 7.
Definitely, and shout out to Unicorns of Love, GK first, being able to get that MVP, 6 LM 754 damage with 56 team contribution. That's what I was talking about. That kind of team contribution is what I expect out of an MVP. Going back to what you were saying, yeah, we're gonna be looking very closely at the next match. Mad Bulls, by the way, beautiful strategy. That player, they went from they went from being out in 10th place to being able to secure a top 3. I mean, impressive stuff. And it helps them out big time here, as you are able to see Mad Bulls. They do end up passing Black Dragons. Supermassive Blaze passes Black Dragons. Now Mad Bulls. Oh man, Sue, if we had to go here between Mad Bulls and Supermassive Blaze, which team is actually going to the finals?
I would say Mad Bulls. If you just look at the average points per match, right? Because Mad Bulls, they missed the Super Weekend, and they're ahead of Supermassive Blaze that have gotten a chance to play all 45 games. So 1 game left, chances are, stats-wise, Mad Bulls is going to do better, and Mad Bulls is already a few points ahead of Supermassive Blaze.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty good answer. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. There's still a lot of, I feel like, I forget the word I'm looking for. So there's a lot of stuff, you know, that taking into consideration when it comes into this last match, it being on Erangel. Of course, both these teams have stayed alive into the late game on Erangel for both of our matches so far. So it really just does come down to this very last game and them being like 7 points apart. It's definitely going to be a little bit concerning for these guys, 7.
Definitely. I mean, I want to talk a little bit more about Besiktas for a second. As you guys mentioned, this is the second time now that they're winning Sanhok. And Sute, you've been alluding the whole time. With them only playing, what, 2 super weekends and being able to kind of be that high up in the leaderboard, this is a team that a lot of those other teams are going to be keeping an eye on. And not just that, it's just their aggressiveness. That's something that a lot of teams are going to be keeping a close eye on, because this team has become so aggressive that I absolutely love it. I feel like this team is coming out of Brazil for a reason, because of just how aggressive they are being right now, Span.
Oh, and aggressiveness. These guys, I mean, I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the finals, but also you guys watching can be aggressive when it comes to getting those in-game tokens, because if you get PMGC tokens and redeem them directly by watching live on YouTube, watching live in the in-game Esports Center, or through social media events, you guys can go on ahead and get yourself some pretty sweet loot. Take a look at that. The first phase will be ending December 21st, so make sure you get those tokens to redeem, and the second phase will also go on ahead and have the same thing, but it starts next week on the 22nd with a lot more prizes and surprises yet to come. So of course, stay tuned. And that kind of, you guys already kind of asked each other this question, but now I'm kind of curious to see what chat has to say about it. We got to go on ahead and talk about who the 16th place team's going to be. Who will claim the 16th and final spot into the finals? Oh, 7 definitely looks like he's gone for Mad Bulls. I mean, Zute said it as well. Basically, it is down to that. Is it going to be Mad Bulls or is it going to be Papara Super Massive Blaze? We'll find out once we jump into our last match on Erangel. But first, we're going to take a break before jumping right back.
I saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration. And the first steps. I am the 1+9.
It comes down to this for PMGC West League, the very last day, very last game of our last Super Weekend. The top 16 teams are going to be moving on to West Finals, and we got to figure out who those top 16 teams are. We're going to end off on Erangel, and this is it. This is make it or break it, Zute. From all the wins today so far, there's still a question mark on who's going to be in that 16th spot.
Anyone can honestly take this last one. I expect a lot of aggression out of a lot of the teams. You know, this is it. They want to, you know, end their day off. It is the weekend. Everybody's pretty much making it in. Well, the teams that know who's going to make it in, they already know. So maybe they're going to play super aggressive, get those hot drops in. And a little bit of a side note, I love the color scheme out of the winners today. Hopefully, maybe the last match will also get a black and white and red team logo up there. But it just looks so beautiful right now, 7.
It definitely does. And I'm with you. You know what? I'm kind of with you. I'm enjoying that Blue Chapter has improved so much here in this final day. I also enjoy that footballers. I kind of called them out a little bit there at the start of the day, saying that they weren't looking like the footballers from last Super Weekend. Well, they decided to shut me up a little bit. Sulky Sunday came out as well, getting that chicken dinner. And Besiktas, I mean, Besiktas, we just keep on talking about it. And the more I look at the stats, dude, the more I just get so impressed by this team. But in this next one, it's going to come down to Mad Bulls and Super Massive Blaze. And I can't wait to see what chat's going to be putting in the comments on the YouTube chat. I really think it's going to be Mad Bulls, by the way. How about you, Span? We didn't actually get to ask you. I just realized.
Oh, no.
Which one of
those
This is
two? Where I pull a Jason Kaplan and just completely refrain from answering the question. And we talk about what we think's going to happen in this last match. Okay, well, I guess I'll try to answer it a tiny bit. My answer is pretty much, I don't know. I do think both of these teams have had pretty amazing games, and it's just going to come down to this last match. Now, if I had to base it off of stats, I mean, Zute already said it, Mad Bulls just have been pulling the better stats. But honestly, I do think it comes down to this last match, either one of them.
I'm going to try to guess for you here, and just because of the conversations that we've been having between these matches. I think deep down, in your heart, you want Super Massive Blaze to advance, just so you can continue to say their name. On the finals, there you go.
I mean, I was gonna say that, you know, I've been watching SMB this entire time, but I've also been watching Mad Bulls as well, and both these teams I know have been pretty successful in the games that they've been performing in. Honestly, I'm surprised to see them this low, so it kind of makes me sad to see them duking it out for this very last match. So, I mean, whoever gets it, I'll be proud of. Whoever doesn't get it, I'll still be proud of for making it this far, in my opinion. But taking a look at these players for the very last time with these head-to-heads, I mean, we'll be seeing it after this last match. We still got to keep in mind that all of these points are still going to count to when it comes to those bounties later on, y'all.
The bounties, that is one thing that the teams at the top are fighting for. I'm mainly looking at who's going to be getting the most eliminations. So we got Koops up there along with Mythic from Rise. I think both of these players actually had a very quiet day today. Maybe this is the last game to get their elims in and secure that top fragger, you know, position, which is, I can almost say, like, it's a little, it can be even better feeling than getting first place overall, because that's a title you get to keep for yourself and yourself only, pretty much, Span.
What else is a good feeling is also using a OnePlus 9 or 9 Pro. Gotta swing it right on into that with flagship performance and an immersive 120Hz display and HyperTouch technology made specifically for gamers. The OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro are your best shot to climb the leaderboard. I mean, I don't disagree with you, Zute. Getting that first place, I mean, it's just something nice to go ahead and kind of end yourself off on. So let's see who's going to end off with a chicken dinner for this last match. For me, I actually went on ahead and chose Fenerbahce because they still gotta get a chicken dinner. I mean, I said the same thing for match 1, so I'm going with Fenerbahce for my pick. And Zute, I have a feeling, did you go with the same thing?
Yeah, I also went with Fenerbahce. You know what they say, if third time's not the lucky charm, the 45th time 100% is the lucky charm. Maybe they'll get their final and first and final chicken dinner on their 45th Super Weekend match.
Okay, Seven, how about you?
Listen, I'm pulling for Fenerbahce, and that is the reason why I didn't pick them, all right? Today, so far, my picks in Erangel have been a huge, absolute curse. So I'm going to continue to curse them. I'm going to go with Unicorns of Love. Hopefully, this will be worth the streak ends of Unicorns of Love. I was talking about how consistent they were being in Erangel. All of a sudden, they're getting 15th place, 13th place, 16th. Come on, Unicorns of Love. You can't do better than that. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Fenerbahce is a great pick. I do hope, in a serious note, I do hope they get a win, because I have seen previous teams go into those finals but not getting a win, and it affects them big time, especially mentally.
I mean, at some point, you really do have to figure out that they're definitely consistent in terms of just getting points right off the bat, but right when it goes to getting the actual win, they just keep falling short. So we'll see if Seven's curse will not work on them this time. And yeah, we're going to be jumping right on into the last match, y'all. This is where it matters. This is where it ends. Last match on Erangel.
Let's get it going! Here, Necro, it's the final game of the Super Weekend of the PMGC West League phase before we head into the finals. And it all comes down to 2 teams, and their names are Mad Bulls and Papara Supermaster Blaze.
Man.
2 squads. Let's do or die for them, and I'm looking at who's hot dropping on them, because that's where my eyes are being drawn towards.
Jake, this is the moment everyone has been waiting for, to find out the top 16 teams. I mean, most of the teams have already been found out, and now we're just waiting for Supermassive Blaze and Mad Bulls. These 2 teams, only one can make it in the top 16, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know which one's going to be, because Mad Bulls and Supermassive Blaze, whew. What do you think so, man? What do you think so, Jake? Which one is going to be that team you think is going to be moving in forward?
Okay, hear me out, okay? I love Supermassive Blaze with all my heart, but Mad Bulls have been cyberbullied. We've been calling them the Sad Bulls all tournament. And now they have the chance to become the Happy Bulls. They can become the happiest Bulls in the world if they can just find this one good performance in this game. They're dropping down over, of course, towards that southern coastal line. They got opportunities, but right now, opportunity for... Unfortunately, Alucard being taken out towards the hands of Furious Gaming. A second drop from Trigger. He's got a shotgun. I actually know it's going to be a spray. I thought he was hitting bigger. I thought he was packing more, but
Right now, he's taking
Jake.
the auto versus a 2.
He's got the god weapon, dude. He's got the god weapon,
does.
UMP.
He does.
He got the god
He
weapon.
has
He can clutch this out if he wants to, but now it's being pinned. On the other hand, he has to go up against shotguns. One burst on his face. And that is going to be it for this man. And yes, well, there we go. Got him. Big Milo takes down Alucard from Knights. Not really a great start, but still it's the final game, and teams do realize, well, it's kind of like just a mess around games for all these teams that do know they have made it in top 16. So all these teams now, at least what I'm expecting, they're just going to be playing it like it's like nothing, you know? They're just going to be playing it like those normal scrim games.
Yeah, I think that realistically, right, we're looking towards the rest of these teams. All of them, to be honest. I'm not good at maths, so I'm not going to count the numbers, but I mean, okay, I'm going to count the numbers. 19 minus 2, that's going to be 17. I'm good at maths, believe in me, Necro.
Yep.
So the rest of these other 14 teams are in the lobby. Not so good at maths, I've realized. The rest of these other 14 teams in this lobby, and it's not going to care, okay?
I mean, Jake,
it's
look,
all down to, look, okay.
Listen, I'll tell you a fact about me, okay? I'm really quick when it comes to maths, okay? The answer is wrong, right or wrong,
me?
I don't really know about that, but I'm really quick with giving answers.
Okay. So if I asked you like some crazy question of like what's 1,263 times 597, you would tell me the answer, right?
Yeah, it's 5,000. I don't know if I told you I'm pretty quick at giving answers. I've told you I'm pretty quick at giving answers. It might be wrong. It's not my fault, but I'm pretty quick at it.
That's right. I'm pretty sure that's right. I mean, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a calculator, but if I had to guess, that must be at least close, right?
Oh, it must be close. I don't really know, man. Well, I'm really bad at maths, not gonna lie, but yeah, I'm pretty quick at giving answers, as I mentioned. On the other hand, no circle all the way on the left. Most of the circle is being covered in the water. Not most, at least like 30% of the circle's in the water. So that's not really good news for teams like Mad Bulls and Supermassive Blaze especially. And now we do know Mad Bulls. I'm definitely going to be hard focusing on Mad Bulls all the way down in Quarry, as you mentioned, or as I mentioned as well. Mad Bulls in on 16th place, and now they need to defend that place. On the other hand, Supermassive Blaze, they're not really far behind, Jake. They're not really far behind.
They're not far behind, but my big question right now is how are we going to get across Supermassive Blaze? Because they are on that more western side. They've got to be able to get through. I think Potato Hill should be their answer. They usually do digress towards that location and use that as almost a pedestal to step further in onto the zone. My also concern, though, for Mad Bulls is yes, they are inside of that zone. They're inside Quarry right now, but Unicorns of Love have pressured them before, and actually Unicorns of Love, the one time we saw pressure onto Mad in the Quarry side, it was not good for Mad. It was awful for Mad. But he still came out with a good position, but that was only because the zone gifted them that second place, and now they're not relying on that zone anymore. They got to be able to be in control of their own fate, and are Unicorns of Love going to go to this obvious compound that Mad Bulls are going to be in?
Obvious compounds is what you're talking about, but I'm really scared of Mad Bulls clashing against Unicorns of Love or either H2G. Now, if you take a look at the map, which we have the access to, all the way down south, right below Mad Bulls is Unicorns of Love, and right above Mad Bulls is H2G. Now, they're being surrounded by these two teams, but still, there's a decent amount of distance between them. But still, as the zone closes down, as the zone keeps on shrinking, I'm pretty sure these two teams are going to be locking horns at any time in the game. On the other hand, now Exit just pulling off some shenanigans with the Weekle. One man gets found. It's Polo getting taken down, and Fenerbahce, again, they might just find a couple of free kills for themselves.
And they're memeing, they know, but they're still looking for the great final fight of this Super Weekend. Polo, though, he won't be there to see it. Bucky, he won't actually kill him just yet. He needs to wait a little bit longer. It's almost an aid back onto kill switch. And here comes Rebellion, stops beside him, parks up, takes the shots. He can't find them though. He's a little bit too slow in kill switch. He'll confirm him away, and this is crucial for Exit. Can Exit come out strong? No, not just yet. It's all down to J7.
Kill switch turns on the kill switch there, finds one, but instantly gets traded off now. Fenerbahce again. Down to a three-man squad, same thing goes with Exit. Polo is still knocked out, he's bleeding away, he needs some help. But guess what, this time, he's not gonna get help. Instead, it's Fenerbahce taking their revenge. This is the revenge. Jake and Fenerbahce needed this, and look at this. This is what we're talking about. Just rubbing that salt on the injury. Here we go, shooting the dead bodies as well, making sure they're staying in the ground. They're staying 6 feet under. Oh no! I like to see this though. I love it. I love it. Look at that. Just pulling
I
off
feel
some
like
moves.
this is how it's been going for XSET this entire Super Weekend. In that one shot, that summarizes XSET Super Weekend, and it's been awful. Another 16 position twice in a row. They fell 16th in Sanhok. I just wonder, what have XSET learned now coming out of this tournament? Yes, they're out. There's no way they get in now. But what have they learned? What are they going to do coming into next year and the rest of the tournaments in spring to be able to come out better? Because they've still got here in the first place. And they still have or should have learned a lot of strategies, a lot of tips, a lot of ways of team fighting around some of the best that are going to be able to be transferred as these skills in on towards North America next year. And they should be able to then, again, repeat that consistency. In theory, but it still doesn't look good. I think the XSET overall, when they have to come back to possibly a second global stage next year and fight their way through this entire gauntlet once more in 2022, it's going to be a long road of improvement for them.
One thing XSET for sure has learned that I can say is that get good. Like literally, that's what XSET has learned over here. And I'm pretty sure, as you mentioned, coming in next year, as you mentioned, that's a lot of days, right? That you have a whole year to try and improve on your skills. Maybe XSET will be, you know, one of those insane teams. Maybe they'll be right next to Alpha 7. You never know. Maybe that's a little bit of cap, but still, they might be. You never know. You know, anything can happen. That's a lot of time.
XSET Global Champions 2022. I'm calling it, dude. This is a strat. You win.
That's a
you
big
win
move.
1 year.
That's a big move.
And
that's
then,
a big
you
gamble,
come back
Jake.
next year. I'm telling you, if they win next year, I was the Foresight 1000. I'm just telling you right now.
Oh, man. Mad Bulls, though, on the other hand, still trying to get right in the center of the circle. Football is right next to them. They will need to make sure they're being as careful as possible with each and every single move they're making. As I mentioned, game's really important for Mad Bulls. They're on the 2-2 split, and I personally don't really like this one because Mad Bulls, they're moving right next to Footballist. And even if one man goes down in this situation, Mad Bulls are going to be crumbling under pressure without a doubt.
Do you know what I feel? I feel like we're almost watching a surgeon surgically get across this surgeon. I feel like we're feeling the pressure right now, Necro. I mean, 2-2 split, it's not so bad. They can look to scout out. They can just move backwards. They've got some space for them around Gatka, and it should be comfortable for this next phase. But I still worry for Mad Bulls. I still think that if they just take one little inch, they're going down. I mean, Rise, he's certainly flipping. I like it.
Oh, man.
I didn't realize there was someone there to punish him. I don't know why he didn't get punished for that. I mean, they were too amazed by his moves. I get it. But Gary, he walks in. I think he's done him with it. I think he might be done in total. That nades.
Oh.
Won't be
That'd
enough,
be gold, though. Mythic all the way from the back finds him. Mythic all the way from the back finds him, creating an alpha angle. And now next 3 are left with 2 players alive. That's a huge knock, Jake.
I mean, Mythic has been a monster, though, on Erangel.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
he's the
has.
highest of everyone. 70 kills so far in amongst the tournament on Erangel alone. And we were talking about who might be the MVP of this league stage. If I had to give it to someone, I would probably be giving it to Mythic because he has been so important for his team. I mean, he's the only one there as well on the top 5 limbs. And I get that, you know, teams maybe only have one fragger, but by boy, is he being fragging.
Oh, man, he has definitely been that instrumental player, right, for Rise. He's always been one of those players who has been racking up those kills, who has been finding those initial engagements. And most of the time coming out on top as well. And Rise overall, I have been saying this from the start, and I'll say it again, they are one of the most aggressive teams, and they are not a team that's going to be backing out from any kind of fights. And this is what I really find kind of similar between Rise and A7. It's the same thing as A7 as well, right? If they do come inside a fight, they're never going to back out until they are completely wiped out from the game. And that's what I really like about these teams.
Still, Mad Bulls, they have held up in towards Gatka, found themselves the compound, either side of the road, inside the middle of dirt, Gatka Fields. Because they will hold up for now. I think this is going to be a safe position for Mad Bulls. Not really anyone can contest them in this location. It's too difficult, I think, for Mad Bulls. They should be able to defend on cars coming in a full crash. A fool said it, the only way that Mad Bulls could be forced into a fight. Still, though, we look towards, of course, the other Supermassive Blaze, who are beside Mad Bulls. Keep in mind, Tron is just about 100 or so meters away from the other team that needs to make it, and Mad Bulls wrapping around the same location. This is risky because both of them taking more of a central approach, making sure it can keep themselves inside of the game as long as possible. But as we said, also center comes with risks. Controlling that zone now, Supermassive Blaze, they couldn't do that inside of the fourth game. They gave up too much control to A7, to Nice, to S2G, and then they fell down when it came to all of those teams moving up on into them. Now, can they do the same though here in this final game? Can they learn from their mistakes? Can they be adaptive enough in the next game on a similar position, high ground hills with flats around it, to stop these teams coming in?
Oh, no, man, that's definitely a good point from your side, right? Center comes with a lot of responsibilities for sure. And you can also be a center of attraction, and that's what can be a really huge problem. But luckily, now they're not really in the center of a circle anymore. Instead, it's Aton who has found themselves right in smack center. Mad Bulls, though, I do like the positioning from Monkey, but he still needs to be as safe as possible. He is out in the open, he's exposing his backs, and he needs to watch his back for sure. H2G making quite a bold rotation out in the open. It seems like they're not scared, and the only thing they're focusing on for now is that target.
Yeah, they won't find it. Voted EP's not quite good enough to find the execution, but it is good enough here for the Cheaters to find one of the Furious Gaming Unicorns of Love. Not looking so great as Supermassive Blades of all teams. Taking out potentially Lin here, and this could be huge for Lin if he can find a double execution, but I don't think it's going to happen. He wraps around one way to the other, and Crucera looking way healthier.
Oh, and here we go, though. Finally, Lin falls down, and now Supermassive Blaze. Game's important, Supermassive Blaze. You can't mess this one up. Oh, one man has been taken down. Second man's knocked out, and this is not good. Supermassive Blaze now only have 2 players to work with. GK first does want to spoil their game. He wants to spoil it. He wants to confirm the kill. But Supermassive Blaze, they're trying their best. They're trying to create that smoke pass. Is Strong going to be able to make it safety? Yes, he does on a sliver of health. Now Keft is probably going to be going for that res. And GK first is going to be quite
comes the cavalry.
That, but here comes the cavalry. Here comes the backup. Here comes the charge in, just ramming their vehicle right on the compound. And Supermassive Blaze, they're going to be sweating now.
They find the crucial knock-go. Rollkiz is down, and that now means GK first needs to come through. They go for the first. They're going for the kills. This might be too aggressive. There's an aid onto Woodstone. It won't find it onto either, though. Another onto Tron. He steps out back. Can he find the shots? He does almost. Has to reload. GK first from the opposite end. He's not in it. Realize Woodstone in front. Kaseri forgot that there was a player on one of his base.
Oh, no,
They're still going to take out GK first anyways. We still alive.
No, they need their men. They need their men, Jake. They need their men. Supermassive Blaze with only 1, or actually 2 players alive. They need each and every single player. They're only left with 3 players alive, and one of them is being knocked. That means only 2 players to work with. GK first, we do know he has pulled off some insane plays in the past. Not just in the past, in the map of Sanhok, if you exactly remember. That 1-on-4 clutch from the side of GK first, and he's looking to inflict some more pain. Is he going to be going for the commit or no?
I think he's going for the change. I think he's going for the flag to try surprise out, but they've seen it. Tron is there already. And keep in mind, GK first, he almost died. He went down to a sliver of HP, but because he didn't confirm that kill, they didn't confirm away Unicorns of Love. Now they've got a problem in their hands. They had to take such an extended fight and focus on this one player, where in reality, look at their position. They are close towards that center, and they're relying on that zone now shifting towards them, because there's going to have to be so much time and resources to take out just this one man. As that zone does shift towards the south, Supermassive Blaze, they do have a compound, and crucially, I think this is a problem, right? Supermassive Blaze, yes, they've got a great 4 walls protection, but everyone else wants a piece of that pie. And Unicorns of Love, they need to be eliminated to allow Supermassive Blaze to find that information.
Jake, my heart's pumping fast, man. I don't really know how Mad Bull are going to be making it inside the zone, because the circle moved away from them. They had the prime positioning like a while ago, and now the circle moving down south. That's going to be putting so much pressure on Mad Bulls. And also, teams making that rotation, they're just going to be applying a little bit more of that. So Mad Bulls now, there's a high chance that they might just crack under pressure. Even if one player goes down, as I mentioned, things not going to be looking good. Coursera, on the other hand, though, again goes down from the side of Supermassive Blaze. Trying to crawl back to safety. GK first is just inflicting pain. All he's doing is just tickling them over and over again. And he's not going to let Supermassive Blaze fully recover from this fight. Instead, he's going to be committing. He does know it's pretty much a donezo game for his team. His team has made it in the top 16, so now he can just try and spoil Supermassive games.
Still though, Mad, Rules, Necro, they're making a push of their own, and Monkey, He has got into the compound and found a Nox initially to get them in to their fight, but the revives are coming on in, and Agri too. They need to make a harder push.
Oh, they definitely need to make a harder push, but Mad Bulls now just ramming their vehicle straight on the compounds. Do you realize it's a do or die moment? You either get this compound and get the best positioning inside the game and try and win this one, or either you get taken out fighting like a warrior.
Oh, the nades.
And Mad Bulls, oh no, the nades coming in from their side. And guess what? Mad Bulls this time, they're looking pretty mad. They seem unstoppable. They find a man from Besiktas. Sun HP is still shot inside the smoke, and he has kept himself anonymous up till now. But as soon as he gets found, I'm pretty sure the man advantage going, or at least favoring the players of Mad Bulls. That's going to be helping them out quite a lot to at least win this fight. Mad Bull's still unknown of Sun HP's positioning, and now finally Sun HP is revealing his position. This is where the charge in comes in through, and Mad Bull's going to be putting the final nail in the coffin for Besiktas. And they're looking pretty good, Jake.
They're looking damn good here, Necro. Where was this from Mad Bulls? They didn't even lose a single knock to Besiktas, and they had to push on in. They got a double knock before they even went in onto the compound onto Besiktas. This was a massive, perfectly played fight coming out from Mad Bulls when it counts most. But talk about mistakes. This is about as big as you get, leaving one man alive. And GK First, he has just applied so much continuous pressure in onto SMB. Finally, he will give him up. But the time has been wasted, and now SMB, Supermassive Blaze, they haven't had time to do anything else but look at GK First. They're falling behind when it comes to the overall state of this game.
Imagine, man, 3 players being pinned down by one single man of Unicorns of Love. And you can imagine GK First, he's just full sending it. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about his life. But what he knows exactly is Supermassive Blaze are trying to make it in the top 16. And he can always try and spoil their game, baby. And GK First, he does know. The fate of Supermassive Blaze is in his hands. And if he wants to, he can spoil it for sure. But still, he's holding his horses back on this side. But on the other hand, now Mad Bull's out in the open. They don't really have the best of the cover to work with. S2G in the front, able to find a couple knocks onto them. But still, let's just find out how they're able to navigate through it.
And we did find one knock onto S2G. The revive will come through. But look at where the zone has gone now.
Oh no,
It's
shifted
a
away.
big shift over towards that western, or should I say eastern side. And Supermassive Blaze about to be grabbed up on here by the rest of A7.
Here we go, Supermassive Blaze now getting charged on by A7. Another wave. And this is looking quite dangerous though, but Keith managing to take out 2 players, but Tron as well falls down in the trade-off over there. And A7, Carrillo in the front lines. Carrillo and Mafioso have a lot of burden on his shoulder. They have to do some heavy lifting for sure. Kill being confirmed.
Oh, no.
And now Supermassive Blaze are crumbling down. No, this is not looking good. A7. Oh, this is what you call the perfect targeting for sure. A7 wanted this compound. They went straight for it, and they might as well just get the gold on their hands. And yes, they do. Supermassive Blaze taking out the game, Jake. I don't think so. They've made it.
I think that might be it. 10th position for Supermassive Blaze and Mad Bulls.
Congratulations.
They look unstoppable. They're still going in on the fight, but S2G, who've been obliterated, will be only run over now by the Mad Bulls. They will lose one, but immediately knocked by the second. And Monkey looks to confirm away the kills from the flank. Angle is A7 also wrapping further in, and it's absolute chaos on that northern front as Yin Yang in amongst the peace. Is looking for the scout though. He's looking for that way in. Mad Bulls, they have navigated into what is a very dicey location, and Yin Yang punished for it.
Oh, Yin Yang being ran over by the vehicle of Mufasa. It's an absolute pandemonium in these final zones. Monkey falls down from Mad Bulls. Mad Bulls now, they do have a huge sigh of relief as Supermassive Blaze have been eliminated from the game. They're still alive with 2 players looking pretty healthy. Just don't really have the best of the covers to work with. They still need to surpass through teams like S2G, Aton, and Knight. It shouldn't really be that difficult of a task, but still, it can be easy if they play this to perfection. But still, I do want to find out what kind of game plan do Mad Bulls have.
This is all about Mad Bulls performing well, coming into the finals. Yes, they made it. They still put out the performance the rest of these teams who are going to be joining them? I don't think so. It's going to be a hard game for Magri. Sliver of HP in the single digits of HP for him. Will manage to secure a spot inside a dip and around a hill. In phase 5, they live to tell another tale. Mad Bulls, they are making the miracle run inside of his zone. And that base 6, where will it go though? Where's it going to shift next? Because now they are in that central zone, but it shifts back down towards the southeast side. And it is Mad Bulls who are going to be contested by the teams up from the north end.
Look at this, man. Just sitting inside the vehicle, trying to navigate through, trying to find as much as visual info as possible. Trying to see if anyone's around him or not. Mad Bulls, as I mentioned, as you mentioned as well, they have made it in top 16 without a doubt. And well, unfortunately, Supermassive Blaze are not going to be making it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the chat are going to be so unhappy after that. But yeah, now, Agori and Effect, the final 2 men alive on Mad Bulls, and we definitely do have our eyes locked onto them.
Still, Mad Bulls, they play it patient, they play it slow, not a single bullet coming from their magazine. As they know, it is all about playing it patient, playing quiet. Smokes will dissipate for now, giving a position away, and still Rise to move further in, but no one wanting to move right now into this zone because it is, for all intents and purposes, heading in onto the open once more. There is some form of hill there that A7 do control, some form of compound as you can see there. But that's about it. The rest of this zone, it's all flats, it's all open playing field, and that's why no one wants to be the first to move. But finally Rise, moving further forward, edging in behind Mad Bulls. When is the go symbol though?
Oh man, Mad Bulls, as you mentioned, Rise right behind them, and you do not really want to go up against a team like Rise. And look at this, Mufasa just drives straight between them. Wasn't really able to run over anyone though, but it seems like it's time for lap number 2, and he's going for the same thing again. Maybe he's going for the same thing, but Mythic being found, that might just hold Rise on a little bit of back foot. Mufasa as well being spotted by Mafioso. It's Mafioso versus Mufasa. Gero trying to help the man out in the front, but still, is he going to be able to successfully do so? That's the question. Mad Bulls is one of those teams that is quite worrying Rise over here. So do want to find out if the final game is going to be taking this. And yes, this is crucial, as you mentioned. And this is where Effect strikes in the nick of time.
Mad Bulls, they are stepping up so huge when it comes to this final game. It feels like they're playing to the end of their lives. Well, quite literally they are, to be fair to them. But now that they survive, they're still going at it. It's the adrenaline pumping through the veins of Effect Nagori. As they will take now their 6th kill of the game. And look further towards Mafioso. They did spawn him, but again, Trigger discipline is so important. Mafioso will go down anyways to Eastern Stars, but more importantly, Mad Bull's position not given away by taking those shots. And that dip so OP to keeping him alive. Eastern Stars. They lose one, they lose potentially 2. Bowser's going in, and Gillisu steps up. It's surprise. Eastern Stars in behind a duo. Double surprise. And Revo, I don't think he realized that he wanted to take that fight.
Oh man, Revo though, still able to make it out alive from that. Was quite close though, and well, Bozzy, no, in the back of GK first. He's just proning out in the open, and what? Spots out Octavian, takes out Bozzy instantly. Oh, GK first is an absolute legend. Today he's performing up to the mark for sure. Effect being taken out by Mufasa. And well, this is what you say, right? Snake it till you make it, and Rise doing the exact same thing. Do realize they don't have the man advantage to work with. Mufasa just being gifted over a kill of Mad Bulls. And now Gory, the only man left alive from that squad.
Oh, but it's Aguri again, the star player for Mad Bulls, keeping him alive into the final 4. Will it be a 3rd place finish for them again as A7 Eastern Stars? I think this is a done deal, a fight between these two teams for first, but Mufasa's still there, and it might not even be Eastern Stars even for 3rd though, because look at that extra kills, the extra knocks from A7. As another one falls, they push further back outside of the zone, but no one's there. Only Mufasa is actually inside of that phase 7. They all need to push up.
And well, that's what they're exactly doing. You do see Rebel with the vehicle as well, trying to run some kills over. It's a lawn mower that wants to mow the lawn. And A7 now, they do realize they clearly do have the man advantage inside this one. 3 teams alive. A7 having a huge man advantage. Rise and Mad Bulls have those individual men alive. Agori right on the edge line of the zone. Still, he needs to make it in though. He still needs to crawl it in, but he's taking his sweet little time. And look at this, Mafioso. Oh, I'm scared for Mufasa. I'm scared for Mufasa.
He's hunting for sure. He's looking for the final kills. They know that it's gotta be a duo or 2 solos. Agori's taking shots, so is Mufasa, but Mad Bulls, they secure 2nd, and Agori's moving in. He's moving in for the Hail Mary shots. He finds 1 knock, but it's all he's gonna get. Zayson secure the win, 11-12 kills in total. But now, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it here, Necro. Mad Bulls in second position, massive step up for them. And this is what they needed to get it onto those finals. Supermassive Blaze, they could not deal with a Unicorns of Love factor. GK first was hands down the reason they did not defend that compound well enough.
I mean, I like that Mad Bulls proving themselves, right? They can perform under a lot of pressure, and they didn't really crack through. I was really scared of Mad Bulls just, you know, crumbling down under a lot of pressure.
I was scared.
But yeah, I was scared myself. I was like, oh no, they're going for a lot of risky splits, but they still did it. They held on, and that push, especially against Besiktas, oh, I was worried. I was like, okay, if this thing does go south, I'm pretty sure Mad Bulls, they're just going to be knocking their heads off, right? They're just going to be banging their heads against the wall. But luckily, GK first was there to just pin Supermassive Blaze down in that compound.
It's 7WG, dude. I'm telling you, it's 7 World game, and he voted for Unicorns of Love, and he cursed someone. It wasn't Unicorns of Love, but he cursed Supermassive Blaze with them. As we do head through, of course, soon to these highlights. But my days. I mean, to look at A7 as well. You talked about these bottom two teams, who's making it, who's not, who's at the top though. They've now got to fight against. And A7 is looking like a monster in some of these games coming into the end of this Super Weekend. 11-12 kill game at the end onto Agri, as we said, a chicken dinner. I think also Rise as well, with Vasa third position, also being that other monstrous team that they've got to go up against. And there's a lot of preparation work, though, for Mad Bulls, these other bottom teams like Houston Stars and so too, to be able to contest against them for the top 6.
I still think that maybe Rise is still on that first place because they are having consistent performances without a doubt in every single game. So Rise, they don't really need to worry about their first spot being taken over. But Rise, if you talk about that team as well, they stepped up quite huge in the Super Weekend 3, man, and they got themselves that first spot. I mean, none of us thought that Rise might be the one to take that first place, let's be honest.
I mean, 165 points. I'm going to do quick maths here. At least 175 points plus whatever kills they got in that last game secured in this one Super Weekend alone. That is S2G massive style worth of points coming through from Rise, and it overtook them to first position. Now they are the ones to beat. Of course, with Massive Blaze, they tried to beat A7, but again, A7 looking brutal in the Super Weekend, obliterated through onto those members. And again, S2G doing the same to Aton. I think, quietly, we have to talk about also some of these other teams coming in the middle of the pack. I mean, Aton, Na'Vi, some of these teams heading down on that leaderboard still, despite them making it. What are they going to do to be able to perform upwards in this final league stage day next week? Because they've only got 2 days to prepare. And they've got a lot of preparation work to do, as we say. There is a lot to expect to come out and beat some of these teams. And I think when we talk about also some stats-wise, you look at that top 6, right? And there's so many kills going over to that top 6 teams in the leaderboards over these 3 Super Weekends. Is 7th and below, there's actually a drop of about 60 or so kills. And that's what I'm wondering about, aggression. And that one word, these teams have to improve on it. We're going to analyze it all back on the analyst desk.
I am sure right when Mad Bulls saw Supermassive Blaze be taken out in that kill feed, an entire weight must have lifted off of them, because taking a look at these overall rankings, nobody actually ended up really taking a move. These are going to be our top 16 teams. Mad Bulls achieving and getting that 16th place. Supermassive Blaze unfortunately just being taken out too early by Alpha 7 early on. Zute, I did not expect that ending right at the end there. It literally came down to a 2v2.
Yeah, it was a tough fight. Supermassive Blaze, they already did a good job against Unicorns of Love. Unfortunately for them, they had to face off with Alpha 7. And wow, rank 1, I think this is what 7 oohed at. Rank 1 and rank 2. That's a 3 points difference. Rise actually had to hold their ground and make it all the way to the end to claim that first place overall. So Alpha 7, I thought for sure Rise was just first place outright, but Alpha 7 actually got so close. But the Elim rankings for the Super Weekend, you have it here. Mythic from Rise with the most Elims, 87. Beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. 87 Elims.
Bring it to me. It makes me... Mythic, congratulations. But you know what makes me even happier? Seeing Coops and Sanhok right there, second and third place. I've been alluding to this, Sute and Span, for the longest time, and it just makes me so happy that these two players are finally, especially on the tournaments that matter here on PMGC West, they're finally starting to get to that spot where they're just understanding each other. They're pretty much just getting energy off each other and fragging out, which I'm all for, and these are the teams that qualified. Mabbles, I gotta give you some credits, Mabbles. Mabbles probably saw that Necro shirt that he's wearing, bright red, and they just wanted blood. They went so aggressive that I was actually really surprised. We were surprised when we saw it going up against Besiktas. Sute, you were saying that's a fight they didn't really need to take. In a way, I'm kind of happy they took it, Sute.
Yeah, that fight, I was like, it wasn't in zone, right? And they got one opening knock, and given the fact they were sitting in 16th and Supermassive Blaze was still alive at that time, I'm super happy it worked out. And at the end of the day, I think that is the exact confidence and that switch that they need to turn it around going into the finals. Because yes, we're super happy for Mad Bulls. Yes, they qualified, but they qualified in 16th. Now they need to qualify to the next stage in top 6. So they got to really change up the way they play. And they definitely kind of showed it in that last match, up with that fight with Besiktas, that one opening knock and that super aggressive push. It worked out for them.
I have to say, taking a look at all the teams that ended up qualifying, I don't think we saw any surprises there. I think maybe the most surprise, if we went back all the way to the very first week of this league, would be Besiktas and Baluk Chabtan, but they both securely grabbed their position, and you're right, it does come down to Mad Bulls and those couple other teams that did just barely scrape in. Curious to see how they're going to fix their performance coming into the finals. But before you guys go ahead and go anywhere, just a reminder that you guys can go ahead and get yourself some treasure like these teams are about to pick up very shortly at these finals. All you have to do is go on ahead and watch PMGC either live on YouTube in-game on the Esports Center or through our social media events to get PMGT tokens and redeem them directly. This event will go on ahead until December 21st, so go on ahead and do it now. And the second phase will be starting right afterwards. So the second phase will start on the 22nd next week, so please stay tuned. There's a lot more surprises yet to come, so keep paying attention to these finals. So I have a feeling that that was a great ending to these league play matches. We still have 3 whole days though now to watch these teams participate in the West Finals, where only the top 6 teams will be able to go on ahead and make it into the grand final. So if we thought that it was difficult to get into the 16 top teams, being in the top 6 will be even more difficult. And if you guys are interested in actually potentially fighting it out just like these teams are, now's your chance, because there is a community open tournament happening with Game TV. It's a very exciting tournament, open for everyone, so please go on ahead and register to play and get yourself some PMGC tokens and Google Play cards. Oh, 7. Are you and Zute gonna compete in this?
Maybe. We're pretty good, right? We're pretty good.
Watching all these players play, the hype moments, like, yeah, it does get the competitive side of me, you know, just I want to jump back in, but we'll see, 7, maybe we can make a team.
Listen, Span, I was gonna say $365,000 I think it is for first place in this finals coming up. Sounds really good. And then if you go to PMGC and win it, that's gonna be 1.5 million. So I mean, that it makes me think about it, even though I do have potato aim.
Potato aim, oh no. Well, these teams cannot go on ahead and afford that. Any last comments though before we go on ahead and break this off, Zute and 7?
All right, 100%. You guys are gonna want to tune in every single day, match by match, because if you thought today was exciting, we're gonna get that for 3 days in a row, and every single game is gonna be crucial no matter what happens for all of these teams. So next week, I'm super excited. I'm pumped.
7.
I'm so glad he said that. Every single game will matter. You're going to see teams playing maybe a little bit different. Some teams maybe playing a little bit more cautious. I am going to be looking forward to S2G hopefully showcasing that Super Weekend 1 performance that we saw that we really haven't been able to see. And I'm also going to be looking at Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce didn't get the chicken dinner, but I'm pretty sure they're happy that this Super Weekend is over. Going into the finals, especially in Erangel, they're not going to have to worry about exit, so hopefully they'll be able to take advantage of that. And to all the other teams that didn't make it to the finals, congratulations. You made it this far, and that's really, really impressive.
Thank you guys so much. So this time the points will be wiped completely. The last 3 days of these West Finals, these teams are once again going to be able to fight it out to try and get into that top 6. They already said it. It's not something you guys want to miss. So Mustache Dave, Hot Jukes, Highland Wolf, Necro from Zute, Glitter, 7, and I, we will see you guys in those finals. It doesn't end here. And have a nice rest of you guys. See you guys shortly.